Hi everybody and welcome to another episode of the United States of a Movie Podcast. We're the movie podcast that makes every Monday a fun day as we get together and we talk movies, but we have a point here at the United States of a Movie. We're trying to find one movie to define each state in these United States. We've already done one trip around the states. We're currently on our second, and this week we're stopping off at the state of New Jersey. It's gonna be a Jersey experience.
Perfect. Yep.
You can't. Come on.
Oh, you're using your real accent finally.
Hey, exactly. that Jersey man in Texas himself. I'm Ollie Pettigrew. I love movies. I used to host movie shows for Cinemax and things like that. And when we got this one going, this has been a movie adventure that has at times filled my soul and at times wanted me to give up and just end it all. Fortunately, this week was one of the middle weeks. I think there's a lot to talk about this week. As always, though, I've got my amazing co-host, first of all, sitting in Arizona, Ryan Sandler. Buddy, welcome back to the show.
It's great to be here. And until a week ago, I learned that the Friday the 13th series was somehow set in New Jersey.
Yep.
I went my whole life without knowing that.
No, that was a brand new one for me.
And it's got the license plates to prove it.
It doesn't. Yes, we have visiting the New Jersey of the Friday the 13th universe, and we're also going to go to a very Canadian New Jersey as well. We'll get there though, because as always, sitting in the middle of his very own video store in Los Angeles, California, Will Hush, buddy, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. It's so good to be here. I like to think of myself as permanently Ryan Reynolds from the beginning of Just Friends. And one day I will get to current hot Ryan Reynolds, but it is not today.
I mean, you're more of a Dusty, no?
Oh, God.
You do ski in your jeans.
Well, it's just weird to learn that fat suit technology has evolved.
Yeah.
Right.
That was a fat suit?
Not if it's Christian
You find out
Bale.
like Weta Digital worked on the effects for that, and the budget was $80 million.
We'll have a look at that budget. We have had some pretty special budgets here on the show, but you may have noticed, or you may have heard, that there is an extra voice here on the show this week. I think it is great for a movie show that does multiple states, that we basically have California, Arizona, Texas, and the East Coast here as well.
If only we were doing one of those states.
Yeah, exactly. Will, do us a favor. Why don't you introduce our very special guest?
All right. So we've got on today Dennard, Dayle, author extraordinaire. If you know 1-900 Hot Dog, which you should, it's the last comedy website on the internet. He's got some hilarious articles, especially if you want to learn about things like Civil War trivia books or my new personal favorite, Ice comic books. Ooh. But also the author of How to Dodge a Cannonball, which, listening to the audiobook, almost caused me to get into a car accident because I was laughing so hard.
Hell yeah.
So if you value laughter and don't really value your life that much, I really recommend How to Dodge a Cannonball.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
That's on the book jacket.
Yeah.
exactly.
That's our entire audience.
Yeah.
Hey.
Worth
And I
dying
want-
for.
I want to say, like, the main character of your book, Anders, I think is, if you read the book, it's kind of who all white people are afraid we are. And I think that alone makes it worth reading. It is really funny, and I think you totally nail something that the Ken Burns documentary left out, which is just how kind of catty and like snippy the Confederate generals were with each other, which I personally, as a Civil War buff, absolutely love. So
It's a great.
Thank you. I mean, I
talking about
love
this book, man. He's been very, very like high praise for this while he's been reading it.
I definitely appreciate that bump, and honestly, it's just good to see smart people enjoying the book. Actually, anyone enjoying the book. If you are as dumb as rocks, you will still love the book, just in a more slapstick kind of way. There is plenty of physical humor in there.
Just gonna write that down. Read book.
Like, if you are picking your book of the decade, I recommend mine.
yeah. Absolutely.
So last time around when we were in Jersey, we did have some like pretty interesting movies. We had our buddy Nick Calderone on the show as well. We did do Traction Park, Action Park. We did do Clerks, which ended up being the winner. And what was that? What was the third one? We were just talking.
Garden State.
Garden State, of course. Yes, can't do Jersey without Garden State. But this time around, instead of leaning into like the hardcore sort of like Jersey of it all, like we could have done the previous, like we did the previous time. This week, we decided we kind of threw that dart a little bit randomly. It's quite the
Yeah.
peculiar pair of movies that we decided to.
I mean, I had this one in my back pocket just because we ended up not doing a Christmas episode this year, but I was going to pick that one for my Christmas movie just to, again, ruin your lives. But remembering it is vaguely set in New Jersey because they keep mentioning it over and over
It
again.
does open with New Jersey on screen as a location and a year. So, I was like, okay, well, he won.
Yeah.
You did have an interesting bee in your bonnet about doing this movie, and that's something I want to get into shortly. But why don't you introduce the movie to us?
I picked from the year, I do not remember, 2005.
I think you
Right?
crushed it.
Because I was way off the last time I guessed.
Wow. You're getting good at it and you're ruining the bit.
I watched it 40 minutes ago. That's why. I picked Just Friends, starring Ryan Reynolds, Amy Smart, Clark Ruffalo. I don't know.
Anna Faris,
Anna
Chris
Faris.
Klein.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
I came
actually-
up with the Clark Ruffalo because I was like, this guy looks like Mark Ruffalo, but it's not him. But his name is Clark. So
Which one was
That's-
Clark Ruffalo?
it was his
The guy
dentist
who
friend.
looked like the guy who looked like Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I could tell. Yeah, I see the
Okay.
connection there.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. Yeah, this was
And Chris Klein. Yeah.
This was an interesting like situation that funny enough that when you said you were going to bring it for Christmas, the algorithm was very, very into pushing this movie this year. It
Yeah.
must be because it was the 10th anniversary or something, but it was like it was on the streamers going, hey, do you want to watch a Christmas movie? Do you want to watch Just Friends? And I'm like, I've never seen this movie.
Christmas is in quotes.
Yeah. And in this particular case, I mean, this was a 2005 movie, romantic black comedy film, where some of the humor is very 2005.
Mhm.
Some of the premise is very 2005. It's that sort of classic movie and TV American thing of like, hey, you know how like fat's funny? We're
Sure.
gonna-
Do I ever?
yeah, we're gonna lean into this one, and boy, do they!
I've got kind of a pocket theory about the 2005-ness of it all.
Good,
Please.
bring it on.
That I almost think it's almost like a red herring in terms of what's not working about this movie, because all of that stuff is like ugly and broken and doesn't know whether it wants to be cartoony or not. But I think what kind of breaks the whole thing is it can't decide if it like its relationship to the whole Christmas idealism thing. Like it basically tries to have the cake of everyone is as miserable a jerk as possible, but the holidays bring them together, and on the inside they're warm. Like he's
Yeah.
giving everyone schizophrenia.
I'm like the idea that this is it's so loosely a Christmas movie. It's like Die Hard, like
Tangential.
considering Die Hard a Christmas movie. It's like it's a movie that's kind of set around Christmas, but Christmas isn't the core of it.
But they
I think-
put Christmas throughout it. Like you've got
Right.
I kept waiting for those, those very well dressed carolers that are just walking through
Right.
the town throughout the movie to like eventually do something. They were like the something about Mary band that keep
Right.
turning up, and I was like, is this some sort of allegory, or are they secretly from the future? Like, well, what's going on? No,
Allegory.
they're just
Just there.
singing. It's like for those of you that haven't seen the movie, probably most of you, it tells the story of Ryan Reynolds and Amy Smart, who the movie starts in 1995 as seniors in high school. The whole premise is Ryan Reynolds was just fat and goofy when he was there in 1995. He gets embarrassed on the last night of school, and he goes away to the West Coast where he becomes hot. Ryan,
Current Ryan Reynolds.
Current Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
He starts working in the music industry. He's a bit of a womanizer. And through whatever random coinkydink, he ends up back in New Jersey with basically Britney Spears, played by Anna Faris, as he then tries to bang his former friend zone girl. And
But
that's
then gets swept up into the friend zone again, and
Yeah.
then there's a lot of nuance in this movie.
And again, when I talk about like the movie having schizophrenia, it sort of wants like the jokes of a hyper jerk, but he's supposed to be like a plucky underdog kind of.
Yes,
Yeah, right, right.
Yeah.
that's
You
that's the big thing I do want to sort of talk about in the movie is that
it's
basically my final note is basically this guy's an asshole and he didn't earn this ending. Like
yeah.
his character is inherently unlikable. Like you crushed it as like the point is he's supposed to be the plucky underdog, but he's also an asshole.
Yeah, even in the beginning, like when he is wearing the fat suit and he's like, you're right. Like you want to root for him, but it's kind of hard to because still to its core, it is Ryan Reynolds and he's got that snarky kind of tone even when he's a chunky boy. But yeah, as the film progresses, he does somehow get worse.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah. And
until
my
Dusty comes back into it, and when you're like, man, fuck that guy.
Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li's Chris Klein.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Dusty is so weird in this movie. I don't know if I'm jumping around too much.
Oh,
but-
please.
They're
Go for
crazy.
it.
But Dusty feels kind of like a broken version of that gag from Wedding Crashers or like the Funeral Crasher.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the thing is, Dusty is like just him, so it's not like a contrast of like this could have been you, your Ghost of Christmas Future or whatever. It's just
Right.
here
Yeah.
is another Reynolds. Why do I even root for
Right.
this one? Like he has not done anything wrong that Ryan has not like without a guitar.
Already, yeah, exactly. And
Right.
his whole character thing is like, well, my acne cleared up and I lost my stammer and I'm super hot now. So, but they live in the same town, so it's how have their paths? It doesn't make. There's a lot of like holes, but it's still a perfect movie. I agree.
It's
Yeah, so this movie's not doing like anything new. Like I said, it's a movie
oh, it's
that's
definitely
doing
doing
a lot.
it's doing new levels of homophobia for sure. Like
Yeah,
it's
Yeah, I hadn't seen this movie in a very, very long time, and I forgot how colorful the dialogue was, especially with his younger brother, who I adore.
Yeah, well, I will say that like my part of my sort of notes here is that the kid that they've got playing his younger brother, Christopher Marquette, I believe,
Yeah.
does look kind of like he could be Ryan Reynolds' like sibling, and they've got a very amusing sibling energy that is like throughout the movie. Anytime they are together, they are hitting each other, slapping each other, tripping each other, kicking each other, and I'm like, I was amused by it whenever it was. I was like,
And then like at the core, they're like truce, and they do care for each other, but they are both so deeply horrible people. But then you have Julie Haggerty tying it all together as like the sweetest, most
So
endearing
great.
mom.
I haven't seen her for so long. So
Uh,
like Julie Haggerty from
Joyce?
Airplane. She just like has such a
Great,
special way of
great.
speaking. Oh my God, she's a treasure. She's an absolute
I
treasure.
think you've got a good point that those two at least have like performance-wise, they have a good. I mean, they're a good interaction pairing. Like
They have
almost
more
wish you could do, like, a
chemistry than him.
dialogue
Yeah,
swap.
they have
Yeah.
more chemistry than him and Amy Smart. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
yeah.
But
But
Anna Faris was
Anna
the-
Faris crushes it.
I was talking to Mrs. about this movie, and I'm like, because I've always loved Anna Faris, and when she's on, and she's definitely on in this one. I was trying to describe her character to my wife, and I go, she's like Britney, but a mess. And I go, oh, Britney's a mess. She's Britney, basically. It's just like,
I think I read they
It's
were
this
like trying to
weird pop.
go
Oh, it's this weird pop diamond where she is basically like has the reputation of Britney Spears and dresses like Avril Lavigne,
Yeah.
and morally, I guess she's supposed to be like the TV version of Paris Hilton.
yeah, she's got a
Right.
bit
It's
of Paris.
like
yeah.
someone's putting all the blondes in their brain on blend, I guess.
Yeah.
I was looking at like the original casting, and I think in the Ryan Reynolds role they wanted like Jimmy Fallon or even Bradley Cooper, and then for Anna Faris's role they actually wanted Paris Hilton to do it, like which is
Oh.
Wow.
on the nose.
She could have begun her rebrand like 20 years
Yeah.
earlier.
instead she did House of Wax. Sure. Yeah.
But Anna Faris as like there are certain scenes where I'm like, how are they keeping this together?
The
Because
toothpaste is
she's
great.
got this is exactly the scene I want to reference is she's been accidentally tased, she's fallen off a thing, she's on Vicodin and she's eating she's eating toothpaste, and that whole scene, I'm just watching her. It's just,
Blueberries.
yeah, she's
Yeah.
like, she's writing
Well,
this
so
face, and she's just
the
dribbling it all over. I was dying
the
laughing.
the core of the premise is like Stephen Root is Ryan Reynolds' boss. It's great. I honestly forgot he's in this movie. He's
That's
like, hey,
right.
you gotta take this hot young star to Paris, and on their way to Paris, she microwaves fish, which should be straight to jail.
Yeah.
The plane has to get rerouted, so they stop in Jersey, and that's where this kind of whole reunion thing sets off
He's
because
only
he hasn't.
supposed to be
An
there for one
important
night, right?
thing in the soul of this movie is that she is explicitly an ex of his who is
Yeah,
some kind of like possessed like sex revenant
Yeah.
thing. Like she wakes up every day and the first thought is that.
hmm yeah, that's her
And
whole. That's her whole like image. Because even like
yeah,
with the brother, like when she finds out he's got a poster on his ceiling or whatever, and she geeks out over that.
Right, no, exactly.
yeah,
She's like,
she's
so how
very into
often do
that.
you masturbate to that? And he's like, 8 times a
Eight.
day. She's like,
Yeah,
oh, wow, that's really good.
yeah,
Like the massage scene, everything. And she's just, I love her. I think
She
any
is
second
really
out of
good.
her, she's
she's
just
great.
Yeah.
crushing it in
The
this movie.
the one thing I
It
noticed on this rewatch too is just how much weird ADR there is. Like there's lines of dialogue where you can't see the character where they just like needed some punch ups where it's like Ryan Reynolds saying like an off-color line or even Anna Faris like when he runs to get the oil she goes that was quick. Like there was so much of it in this that it was like they're like this movie's not funny enough. How can we make it more funny? Let's add some just ADR dialogue into
Which is
this.
like every Deadpool movie, because it's like, the guys are wearing a mask, so it's like,
Right.
all right, throw out 300 lines and we'll figure it out.
So you're saying this is a Deadpool movie without Deadpool in it?
Exactly. Except it's
Okay,
got
right,
Ryan
right.
Reynolds in it, so it's got Deadpool.
Well, I mean, yeah.
every time I see a non-Deadpool, I think I would give those movies like a letter grade upgrade if I'd never seen another Ryan Reynolds thing and I thought, oh, you made up this delivery for Deadpool instead of
Right.
like
Yeah.
you are a smarmy agent who talks and acts and evokes like Deadpool. And I
Yeah.
thought,
Yeah, I mean it's his whole brand, and it's at that time like because before this I don't remember the order in which the movies came out. It was like it was a movie it was Just Friends, it was like Waiting. He popped up in like Harold and Kumar, that early 2000s stonery
Van
kind of
Wilder.
comedies. Yeah, there you go, another one. But like he just cornered that and he's like this is my brand now and I'm going to do this for the rest of my career.
But
And that's why I have Mint Mobile.
Yep.
but I would even say like Harold and Kumar is like the most I've ever seen him kind of like comedically stretch because I do love his like line delivery
Why?
in Harold and Kumar. Yeah, the whole but why? Where it's like an actual performance for like one
He's
line.
playing the straight
It's
man in
so
that scene.
funny. But yeah, just when it comes to comedy, he's got one mode, it's Deadpool, and boy does it get old after half a movie, let alone an entire franchise,
Yeah.
let alone all these other spin-offs.
I kind of want as a science experiment, like you know how when they made Punch Drunk Love, like the director was staring at Adam Sandler and saying, I see such anger in this. I could use this. Like
Yeah.
I want to see like what the Ryan Reynolds like Punch Drunk Love, like what some hyper auteur would do with that.
Yeah, what
The
PTA would do
the
with
Safdie
Ryan
brothers, yeah.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. I mean, I'm looking at his filmography, and it's just, you're right. It's just, he's playing himself,
It does
playing
make sense
himself.
that the culmination, all of that leading to Deadpool, but then there's really like nothing. I feel like there's nothing beyond that. Like
Well, at least
that's
not
his
these
ethos.
days, because he used to do like interesting stuff. Like, was it Buried? Was the one where it's like him in
Yeah,
a coffin. So like he used to do like interesting stuff every once in a while, but he has completely been like, nah, that doesn't. I'm gonna do Red Notice, and no one will watch
yeah.
it.
Ugh.
It's
Yeah,
like that will
So
not turn into another car.
no, or he pops up
Right.
in was it Hobbs and Shaw that he pops up in with like Kevin
Yeah.
Hart, and
And
it's just
he plays Deadpool again in that.
basically yeah.
He turns up in Bullet Train and plays himself as an like
Oh
simple
my God, yeah, I
cameo.
forgot.
Oh, I forgot. I
Yeah.
completely
That's
forgot
an
about that.
odd one because Bullet Train has so many like weird little parts you could kind of roll the dice with.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, he's in Hobson Shaw as that uncredited thing. Hitman's
While we are
Bodyguard, Detective Pikachu, R.I.P.D. It's
Ooh.
Safe House, Change Up, Buried.
Safe House wasn't bad. I
We've
didn't
got
mind
yeah.
that
I
one.
mean, I'm looking at the ones. It's like he's apparently turns up in Adventureland quite quickly.
Oh
He's
right, yeah.
but I think the Amityville Horror is maybe the only one that steps outside of his. It's Ryan
Yeah.
Reynolds in a beard with an axe in a horror movie. I remember
Ryan
that
Reynolds
was
as James Brolin.
because he did.
Okay.
That was his rebranding. Was Blade Trinity in the Amityville Horror, where he put
Oh
on like
right.
20 pounds of muscle and grew the beard.
Mhm.
And everyone was like, "Oh,
right, yeah.
wait a minute! He's not just this sort of like fresh-faced, like sarcastic guy. He's a sarcastic
He's
guy
a
with a
bearded sarcastic guy.
beard."
Right, yeah. Right.
He's like a sarcastic guy in front of an explosion too,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
growth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
We call that range in the industry.
Like this.
I have
the
a
thing is-
minor.
Go.
Oh, I have a minor just Ryan Reynolds memory, which is because I make really bad choices. A date of mine ended up being at this like Hugh Jackman one man show thing.
Okay.
And because they became, I guess, real life friends or were for the whole Wolverine Deadpool thing, or just cross promotion, who knows?
Hmm.
But in the middle of Hugh Jackman redoing every song he has ever seen or performed, Ryan Reynolds has maybe 6 minutes of sort of stand-up style material in which you learn he is not a stand-up comedian.
Oh my God.
And
Ooh.
it is unfortunate just to see someone like try crowd work for the first time raw.
Oh
Mm.
no.
Mm.
Yeah, not even in an open mic setting, like at a actual
Yeah.
show. Like, oh dear.
At an actual show, and you have to stare down that many people at once. It's probably the only time in his career he's even been like nervous, I think, was
Yes.
pulling that. It was a funny thing. It was a funny thing.
Interesting.
That yeah.
He
So
got
I
off
do not
stage and
recommend
just-
Hugh Jackman's one man show for Eternal Love.
Okay. For Eternal Love. For sort of like a generally it's like a scar that you'll get to repeat as a funny story for years to come. That's what it's good for.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, then you'll get your money's worth.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
So this particular movie, right? Like I didn't have any problems with it, right? It's not doing anything special. I have a kind of like of a term. It's like it does exactly what it says on the tin. It's like, but I was looking up the director. So the director, like he has written and directed as well, but it's Roger Cumble. And I was like, okay, I don't really know the guy. And I looked at his sort of like his movie. He directed Cruel Intentions.
Cruel Intentions, yeah.
And I was like, and that's a very good movie. Now he directed Cruel Intentions 2, and then he
Even better.
Yeah. The Terminator 2 of the Cruel Intentions
but
franchise.
he's
Too
got
cruel, too intent.
yeah.
They
he's
should have just
got
called it
kind of a
Crueler
thing.
Intentions.
Crueler Intentions.
Yeah, they should have.
Dollar signs
it's
everywhere.
like the fact that they just had like Now You See Me 3 came out, and they did what everyone said they should have done for the sequel. Which
The
is
whole Dan Harmon bit.
Now,
yeah.
but the Now You Don't. Exactly. It's such a great, it's an obvious sequel title. They
Yeah.
get there on the third one. Ridiculous.
Now you three me? What? What are we doing?
But if you look at the filmography of this director, that yes, Cruel Intentions 1 and 2, which he also wrote, but then it's like Sweetest Thing, Just Friends, College Road Trip, Furry Vengeance, Falling in Love, Beautiful Disaster, Beautiful Wedding. He just kind of like has made it's like get the guy that makes those movies.
Yeah,
And he'll do
I
one of those
suppose.
movies, you
Yeah.
know? Because like this one has, it's kind of like there's a moment which is all quasi like Meet the Parents esque where Anna Faris turns up in the car and trashes the Christmas decorations of his
Yeah.
friend's house, like the obsessed dad who's a bit of a dick, and you've just got all these comedy beats, right? And it's chaos and like things are breaking and stuff like that. Those moments are there. But then you've also got you've also got the other like stuff that you were saying, which is like the early 2000s somewhat edgy comedy that isn't really funny. You've got it's just it doesn't have any
There's
like,
still
of its
some
own
like
fingerprints. It's just a whole bunch of other things stuck together. I think
this is one of those movies because I think I was trying to find out the budget because I wanted my mind to be blown, but I think it was like $18 million or something like that. But it made like there was something like in the theaters it made like 30 million, but on DVDs it made like 25 million. So this was
Right.
like such a DVD movie, or it
Oh
was
yeah.
on HBO all the time. So I remember watching it on TV, and like this movie still like, again, I hadn't seen it in a long time, but and a lot of the parts don't hold up well, but there's still some really funny like practical bits, like when he's hauling him up, like after the whole hockey scene,
Yeah.
great when he
Yes.
fucks up his teeth, when they're hauling him up this the hill on the gurney, and it slides back down, and he like slides face first and they roll him over. Like that was pretty funny.
That is
I like
that
some
is
good
the
funny
one
shit.
part that
That
that's
is a workable set piece,
I
yeah.
laughed
Yeah.
Yeah.
out loud for that part. I was like watching that
And then
where
they're in the
the
ambulance,
face
and
plant is the funny
and
part.
the oxygen tank lands right on his crotch, and he's like getting his number, but Ryan Reynolds can't talk, and that's again when the ADR kicks in. He's like, "Arr!"
This is
it was
bullshit.
pretty funny to me.
No, that scene, that's where I cracked up. That, but like the genuine.
If we're doing upsides, I did whenever I'm really not vibing with something, I kind of have a game where I like to like pick out what I think the best thing for me was.
Hmm.
And not so much the song itself, but just when she says this song is called Forgiveness, Samantha Anna Faris's
Yeah, yeah,
character.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just start strumming that. That was
And
kind of the
and then they
closest to like a
play it,
great dialogue
and then
joke.
they play it at the end
Right.
credits, and you
Yes,
get to
they
hear
do.
the entire
You
song. Like,
actually
Yeah.
oh,
get the
this is
song.
really bad.
Yeah.
But there's two things. There's a lot of overlap. Well, there's overlap between these two movies. It's when he's getting out of the his dental work done, which is also at the local, just it's just the hospital where all of the medical happens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I was
he
wondering about that. That
and
was...
he runs into Dusty, who's flirting with like a nurse wearing the most outrageous like porno
Like,
Halloween nurse's outfit.
yeah,
I'm
it
like,
is.
this is
Oh yeah,
a
she's
small
like a
town.
poisoned backup dancer or something.
Yeah.
Crazy. I'm pretty sure that was the same girl
In Friday the 13th.
in striptease. But no, like,
Oh,
but yeah, the how like raunchy the nursing thing was in both of these movies, considering they were set many, many years apart. I'm like, this
She
is
feels
not.
like someone who would be in like Eurotrip and every
Yes.
scary movie
Yeah,
with a number
100%.
larger than
For sure.
two, and
Yes.
Yeah, she
I
wasn't a
th-
nurse in the hospital. She was dressed up as a sexy nurse, and she's at the hospital because of whatever injury she sustained while
Oh,
working.
you're saying she can't work at the hospital because she's attractive? How dare you?
I'm not that
How
outfit, I'll tell you that much.
dare you? It was, I mean, it was
well,
crazy.
obviously not until she's done paying off med school. So.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
There you
Hey,
go.
did
I
you
mean-
hear Dusty's song "Jamie Smiles" is so bad.
Well, the thing is, I like that. Like, so honestly, like when Chris Klein turned up. So my opening notes are like, first of all, when Ryan Reynolds at the very beginning, when like as Ryan described it, when he was the chunky boy, I was like, is he doing a Cartman impression? He's doing like it's the way he's talking. "Yeah, it's good," you know, and his behavior and manic sort of. I was like, he's doing Cartman. You know what I mean? It was like it
I
was.
see what you mean. The sort of breathy kind of
Yeah.
thing he
Yeah.
goes for with that voice.
The whole bit with the retainer was funny because that keeps coming back too. What's
It's
the,
I've got to say though, I think I would have legitimately liked this movie. Where, like the whole fat suit thing at the opening gives you such a stamp of doom. I'm thinking,
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
fuck, there is no shot. There is no shot. I've watched the car flip on the freeway.
Yes.
Start this
like
film.
Eddie Murphy owns that. You can't just do that now. Like, oh my
If you're
god.
gonna do,
There's
you
a
gotta
pure
play
Eddie
7
Murphy
characters
thing.
at the same
If
time.
if Ryan Reynolds was also playing his brother and his mother at like a dinner scene, I'd give it a pass. Like,
Yeah,
it's
for
fucking
sure.
crazy.
But
it's what
go well.
Oh, I was gonna say he does the thing in the fat suit that like, you know, as a fat kid myself for many years, going on 40, he does the thing that a lot of hot people in movies do when they're playing fat, which is when they're eating, they're just going nom nom, and I'm just
It's
like,
that fucking.
Yeah.
my God, man, like, I get that it's a
You see
comedy.
that? It's like, have you been outside? Like, have you seen that they're like not zombies wandering
Right.
from food
Yeah.
court to food court?
Yeah.
Like,
God.
It's exactly the kind of tell that lets me know like, oh, you've been an insanely hot person your entire life and you've never had to like interact with anyone who's like slightly less
Oh
attractive
my
than
god,
you.
you just reminded me of what I have to. I often tell this story. Is like, It's Tyra Banks. Tyra Banks had a show
Oh
called
my
like the
God.
Tyra
Yeah.
Banks Show, right?
What a
And
great opening.
and
Iconic.
Yeah.
this is one of my I've never seen someone be more like so far removed from the point, and it's her show. But she like got on a whole like a bunch of women, and it's all like these women are like obese. They are big women, like to the point of like we need to do something about it. And so for Tyra to understand, she puts on a fat suit and then goes on like a big. So she looks like she's 300 pounds. She goes on a blind date that's been set up with a guy, and this guy is being so nice, like genuinely, and he's but also being honest, going, "Oh, at the end of the night, I'm not really like thinking you're in for me." She's like, "Why not, motherfucker?" So
Yeah.
anyway, she's we come back to the
Flawless Tyra
show,
Banks, by the way.
and thank you, that was a perfect Tyra Banks. But there is Tyra Banks, supermodel Tyra Banks, is sitting on the sofa, surrounded by these four like morbidly obese women. And Tyra has a breakdown and starts crying about her experience being fat for 6 hours, where nobody thought I was beautiful, and these women are comforting the supermodel. Oh, poor Tyra.
Have you
And I'm
ever walked
Drying her
down
eyes with
two
$100
blocks
bills.
like,
without
it
one marriage proposal?
Hey, absolutely. So yeah, it's like when it comes to people, like it's like you remember there was a movie called Shallow Hal,
Yeah.
where Gwyneth
Yeah.
Paltrow, you know what I
Sure.
mean? Like that's
Yeah.
the movies that this is not even that long ago. I mean, to say that, but 2005.
It's not even the worst Farrelly Brothers movie.
It's right. It's a couple of decades ago, but like you think about the early 2000s as being, oh man, we were like figuring
Yeah.
stuff out, and then you watch the movie, and it's just like the homophobic slurs.
That
just-
like the fat suit aside, like I can get that as a period thing from that time, but the dialogue was really jarring to me to hear like them just casually dropping that in a 2005 movie.
It was so
I think the
just
time
normal.
warp one was the theater where he whispers in the middle of the Notebook, "This is so
Oh,
gay,"
it's a
and
bit
then the
femme,
camera
yeah.
jumps directly to a gay couple in the road in front of him.
Yeah,
Who kiss
that would
and then
do it,
look
yeah.
back towards him to be like, huh? What do you think of that?
This is pretty gay,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Insane.
And I remember this movie, a lot of the gags are very rat-a-tat-tat, which works for it sometimes.
Mhm.
And that joke lingered like, oh, this is a shot across the bow. We gotta let this one
Yeah.
breathe.
The audience
wonder
is going to continue to be laughing. We got to give them a moment to stop
And
laughing.
I'm sure it was a studio note for them to really let's see if we can dial that up a little bit more and make it real bad. Like,
Yeah.
It's kind of like that line from Role Models. If by gay you mean the old English definition of fun, enjoyable, and carefree, then yes, it's extremely gay.
but like,
The other one was, and it's kind of a miracle how much you like Anna Faris in this because she
She's
will
so
just
good.
belt any line you give her. But they give her this one like Hong Kong Fooey throwaway line with like an Asian producer in the back, and I just thought, wow,
Dude.
I think the
oh
fact
yeah,
Yeah, right, exactly. We refer to the one Asian guy that appears in the whole movie is
Yeah.
one in the background, two out of focus, and three referred to as Hong Kong
Yeah.
Fooey. And I'm like,
which is a deep cut. Like you have to know
2005.
that that was a cartoon from forever ago. Like makes no sense.
That,
It makes
that was a decades old reference in 2005.
In
no, that
2005,
was
yeah.
written by a 55-year-old white guy writing that show. The kids are gonna love this.
And now I'm staring at this like, wait, so is Samantha, that was the name of the movie, right? Yeah, Samantha.
Mhm,
Wait,
Samantha.
is she like super well read? Is she like a media maven? Is this something you've added to her character accidentally?
That would have been a great reveal.
I
that
mean,
she's
she was
actually-
so
Like she's gonna
clearly
start
like,
throwing out Charlie Chan jokes or something. I don't know.
yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
But like anytime she's on screen, it's like she is so funny in this character because she's abhorrent, but she's like this amalgam of Britney Spears, Lindsay Lohan, Paris Hilton, like all from that time period, just blended together and just hopped up on Red Bull. I think she said in an interview she was drinking a ton of Red Bull before doing any of her scenes, so she was just dialed up to 11. But, like,
Incredible.
Wow.
But that scene when I mean the initial scene when they go to the bar when they first get into town, and she meets his friends Clark and Darla, and they have that it's just weird interaction. But when he's talking to them and she's like trying to get his attention, and he just screams at her, "I'm busy," and she goes, "I'm busy, stupid dick." Like that, just like her line reads are just. I've seen this movie so many times back then. The line reads are just burned into my head. I love it.
She's like an agent of chaos in this movie. Like the bit where
Yes.
she meets the couple, and she like then kisses the
her
girl
on the mouth,
lips,
yeah.
but like and just holds it for that extra couple of seconds.
Darla.
And
Yeah.
again, part of me is like, oh, I bet that's an Anna Faris choice on the first take. Of like, she goes, I've got something for this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Apparently, she was just crushing Red Bulls to sort of like to maintain the sort of the manic energy of her character. So she's like, oh yeah, no, I was just like a grenade with the pin.
I hope it's literally Red Bull too, because that's like an achievement. Like if it's a euphemism for Coke, they're like, oh, whatever. But like just constantly on the blue Red Bull can
Yeah.
is a really
Yeah.
entertaining thing. And I'm glad you brought up the "I'm busy, you stupid dick" scene because that was actually my runner-up for the forgiveness thing.
Yeah, it's great.
I basically want what happened
It's-
to like Drawn Together to happen to this, where it just became Captain Hero and friends only it's
Yeah,
had
yeah.
effects.
Right.
Oh my God, yeah. Like, yeah, there's really like there's not a lot more substance to this movie. It's you have your little Julie Haggerty scenes when he decides that he's going to go ice skating. His whole thing is like never go on day dates. Yeah, like, you have this lead in where he is teaching this guy how to be like a man whore, basically, just to show how good and handsome he is. So then he later on is going to ice skate in a day date. And it just, I mean, that hockey scene is so fucking funny to me. Like, because his skates are so bad, but his mom threw away his skates, and she's like, "Just be yourself, honey." And then Julie Haggerty just launches into this song. She's just singing, "Be yourself, be yourself," and you get this like quiet sign where he's like, "I don't want to be myself," and he's like, "My snow globes," and he's just rubbing them on his face. Like there's some, like it's a terrible movie, but there are some good bits that I still like in it.
I think that's a totally fair assessment. Like it has like these little sort of flare-ups. I guess it's because like the upside of the comedy Gatling gun is that one of these 272 jokes has to hit someone.
But not in like an
And
airplane
it is-
kind of way. Yeah.
And it is like it's not the thing where they're all like great shots, but strays will hit you, and those are definitely in this movie. So that's not an insane
Like-
reaction at all.
But
Yeah.
I'm looking at it too from a perspective of like I had seen this movie so many times back then. If this was my first time watching this movie, I don't know. Will, was this your first time watching this movie?
Yeah,
God.
well, no. Okay, I have a very awkward story about this movie, which is
Bring it on.
I was working. I actually know for a fact that it was a huge hit when it came out on DVD because I was working at Hollywood Video at the time when this like hit DVD.
Ah.
And there was a girl I was very interested in who was my coworker. And I used this movie's title as a very awkward lean in to ask for the first date of like, are we just friends?
Ooh.
So, and it led to a couple of very, very, very sad dates. But
A couple?
a couple. So I had that.
Did
going.
Ryan Reynolds just stand up at any of those dates? Or...
I was gonna say we went to a
That's-
one-man show of Jack and Lance. You guys were at the same show.
Yeah. But so I had seen this movie that in preparation of asking this gal out because I thought maybe this movie would have some tips. And I think 30 minutes into it, I was like, this movie has nothing for me, and I don't even remember if I finished
Next
it.
time it was Showgirls.
Yeah, well, that's what.
Yeah, well.
Eventually, the next time I dated, that's what clinched it.
I thought you were gonna use this movie as a tool, like, oh, we could watch this together. Instead, you watched this movie in preparation for a date to see
Yeah,
if you could learn some tips from
You're
it.
smarter than 20 years ago, me.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I
Did you
think
bring
what's
an
kind of crazy about
acoustic guitar? Like
Yeah, were you aloof?
Simply Dusty.
I
Is
just
there any
brought-
other kind?
I just brought my permanent fat suit with me. That's all I had.
Oh, you didn't do the voice though. You got to do the pseudo Cartman.
That's
Yeah.
what I was missing.
Mm.
And I
Yeah,
didn't
but-
eat like.
Yeah.
Oh.
You didn't eat like you would just run down a caribou.
Yeah, just feral and just yeah.
So yeah,
Incredible.
Honestly, Dennard, I like that. Your analysis of the movie is pretty spot on. Of like, there is just enough jokes that some of them hit. And so like as I could tell you, 1989's comedy Twister, I spent 90 minutes waiting for anything to turn up that even was a semblance of a joke, and it was the most painfully unfunny thing I've ever.
We were all
watched.
waiting for Twisters to actually hit our house.
Yeah,
so
I was just like, bring it on. End it.
So bad.
End it all. I mean, like, so because all like when I do have the notes, like it's always a compliment in this particular one. I'm just like, okay, Julie Haggerty's great, and there's like the old high school guy talking about his girlfriend. She's like a box of fine wine. It's just a good
Yeah.
line. It's just
There's the line when he bumps into that guy like much later because that's the guy that humiliates him.
yeah,
And he comes back and he's still wearing the jacket.
the
And
leather
he's like,
jacket exactly.
but he's like, I saw you on the MTV Awards sitting next to P Diddy, and I was like, ooh, that's not.
Oh yeah, that one got like some accidental angles.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I was like, ooh.
and
Yeah.
and then I'm sitting there like, is that like an inside joke or is it just history playing with this?
Right, and it's
Yeah.
like it's always
Right.
extra context to it now.
Well, because when he's name dropping, he's like Jay-Z, Mick Jagger, like he's
I'm still doing it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like there's like random little bits. Like I said, there's random little bits and lines, kind of like you were saying, Ryan, of the thing with the snow globes. But it's like the bit where he's drunk and he's just being an asshole, and so he gets thrown out of the bus, and then he gets thrown out of the bar, and the guy that throws him out the bar goes,
I always wanted
and
to do
stay
that.
out, and he goes, I've always wanted to say that. As he's going back in, it's just
Yeah.
a throwaway like under his breath.
It's
I was
good.
like, that
But
was
again,
funny.
another like total ADR line. Like this movie did a pass, and they're like, it's not funny enough. It needs more jokes. How do we get more jokes in? Oh, we'll just add more dialogue
You
where
know-
we think we can.
And we've talked about like the movies like The Naked Gun and movies that did it like so well that is it. They have ADR jokes, but they were planned. So it's like the idea of when like there's
This feels like an
like in
afterthought.
Hot Shots, that's a huge, or like
Yeah.
even like with the Juice
Yeah.
Bigelow even, but that's a huge bit.
Yeah,
But
right,
it's
right.
what I mean is like things happening off screen were planned, and that's the joke. Whereas I
Yeah.
think like you're right on this one. It's like no, guys, we need to put a joke in
It
there.
felt like way more punch ups were needed. Yeah.
Yeah,
I have a
Yeah,
theory.
a lot
that-
of saving throws in there.
yeah.
Yeah, my theory is because there's a couple scenes in here that kind of set off my filmmaker like red flags, which was like there's a scene where Amy Smart and Ryan Reynolds are in bed together, and he kind of looks to camera and he's got like a voiceover that happens,
Yeah.
and I'm like, that's so weird. And there's a couple
It's
other
his
moments.
dick talking to
Yeah.
him. Duh.
Yes, but there's a couple times where I was like, especially the look to camera, where I was like, I wonder if this was much more of a movie where Ryan Reynolds' character was talking to the camera throughout, and the ADR is like an example of them being like they took it out and they're kind of restitching the movie together. And I think that kind of like the more I thought about it, I'm like that kind of makes sense with like the tonal
Yeah.
kind of comedic
That'd be interesting.
inconsistency.
But now
'cause
you're
It-
positing
it-
like go ahead. But now you're positing like what if they made an already perfect movie better?
exactly.
I'm
That
gonna,
is interesting though.
It's an interesting point, Will, because though, like for me, the screenplay is written by Adam Tex Davis, but it's based on a platonic friendship that he had with a young woman in college. A majority of the screenplay, including family relationships, New Jersey setting, and everything, is all from this guy's life. So I can sort of see how if he's written the script about his
Yeah.
experiences, it's him talking to the audience. I can see
Interesting.
that, and that's an interesting theory. That's a very
It
sort of
is.
like
Yeah, I can
Sherlock
see it.
It would
Holmes-ian
kind of explain-
interesting conclusion, sir.
It would kind of explain two weird things to me, which one is sort of the default sympathy.
Mhm.
Right.
They were kind of
Yes.
expected. Like, I think if it is like your life, you can give it that texture, you'll probably like be willing to gamble further and further in terms of like how far the sympathy ball goes for this guy. That would totally make sense for it ending up like that for me.
Yeah.
Right, but then
And the
even
cutout narrative,
No, go.
and the cutout narrative thing, I think it would also kind of make sense for. It is so weird how it feels like it doesn't have like an opinion, or at least a stable opinion, on kind of the core dating interaction at play here, like the just friends guy. Like you have,
Mhm.
and I'm not just saying just that I think the friend zone thing is stupid, which I do, but it's like it's like tilt on it isn't super like stable.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
think if this inner monologue that are similar to those bedroom penis speeches were
Mhm.
scattered throughout the movie, it'd probably stabilized a bit, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's kind of
Yeah.
going back to what we were talking about at the beginning when I just say, like he's inherently unlikable. That the movie is like you said, you hit it right at the beginning. Dennard is like he's not someone, he's an underdog, but he's also an asshole, and it can't really rectify that. So it doesn't, like I said, this movie can't even rectify its own sort of theme. It's not even sure what it's trying to say. It's just finding humor in situations because, like I said, it gets to the end of the movie and then it goes, okay, in the last 3 minutes he gets her. I go,
Yeah.
why? There's nothing earned about that.
no,
She's still
but-
angry at him.
but also,
He hasn't
like-
learned any lessons.
But also, like, almost all of the characters in this movie are inherently unlikable. Like, even Amy Smart's character is kind of a dick sometimes. Like, I mean, Dusty's a dick. Like, the brother's a dick. Anna Faris is kind of a dick. Like, Julie Haggerty's treasure, no flawless, no notes.
Right.
But like, everyone's
Yeah, the
you
dad, Mr. Palomino.
yeah, like you don't I'm, like just rethinking about it now. Like, there's really no redeeming qualities in most of the characters in this. Like, the when he and Amy Smart go to the diner together to get lunch, and the waitress brings out his usual, which is this like obnoxious pile of pancakes,
And she's
he's
calling
like,
him chunky, you know.
yeah,
She's
and he's like,
grabbing
hey, I don't like this is not gonna work for me. And Amy Smart is like, just don't be a dick, like eat it. I'm like, you're kind of being the dick here. Like, you
Right.
see how this
It's
is wrong?
Now hang on.
like, hello, second adult. You have
Yeah.
to eat
Yeah, like-
this object.
Right.
And she's like, here, have my grilled cheese. I'm like, what?
Is the secret source of everybody being a dick because it's set in New Jersey?
Yeah, we finally got to the New Jersey of it all.
Oh
You know,
no.
I'm really glad that we could have that piece of authenticity to it. Well,
Huh. I was hoping for a scene
so
where
when
they
it
go
comes to
Ashley
it being
Park.
in New Jersey, like his whole relationship with his environment is like he sort of rejects all of this stuff to go to LA. I'm never
Right.
gonna see any of you again. And I remember just thinking like, wait, you're gonna if you live in New Jersey or just running away to the entertainment industry, you can go like 5 miles that way.
Just
But
go across the river, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
He
like,
wanted to
it's
get
like,
as
are you
far
banned?
away as possible, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. But I was thinking, like, are you banned from like the ferry? Do you want to talk about it?
Right.
What did you do, man?
Spend one summer in Crystal Lake and you're fucked.
So
This movie
Oh,
did
yeah.
need more Crispin Glover, I will say.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh man. Well, every movie needs more Crispin Glover except for 1989.
Except for
So
Twister.
if I were to give the movie something other than like the sort of flash gags, that it does, I can actually kind of track the sort of born to run attitude in his head, other than the whole like proto friend zone nice guy, whatever core of it, like just the I'm in a box.
Yeah.
Well, not even something innately wrong with the movies, but if you have a certain type of ennui in that sort of New Jersey area, I think it does manifest like that a lot. So that's a decent case for it state-wise, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, it's got that core to it.
Though it doesn't feel very New Jersey, considering it's shot in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, I was saying they do play hockey in New Jersey, right?
And
Mostly
2/3
on
of the-
rooftops of video stores,
No,
but still.
yes, there you go. 2/3
See,
of
I
the
was like-
cast is Canadian as well. This is a very, very
Yeah.
sort of Canadian.
it's for
New
sure,
Jersey,
100%.
this one.
I was wondering about it because I remember at one point a human being apologized to another human being. I was like, gotcha! I knew
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Oh,
This
sorry.
is this is the state that gave us Action Park. There's no way anyone would apologize for anything.
Yeah.
You don't apologize in New Jersey.
All the extras would be maimed and missing limbs and eyes.
Right.
Because they all were in the other movie that we had this week as well. Actually, perfect little segue there. For
Yes.
the other movie that this was an interesting.
This was a movie.
This is definitely one of the movies of all time. But no, at the same time, it was quite silly and quite fun to watch. So, Will, you yourself had a bit of you got a bee in your bonnet about a certain type of movie, and
Yeah.
then the one of them that you chose as
A
well.
resident Jason sexpert.
So yes, tell us about the movie that you brought to the table that does have some surprising sort of like cast members that it was quite entertaining to me.
Oh yeah. So I brought to the table the 1980, I want to say 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1984 classic Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter, A Total Lie. Because they have since tried to end this
Wonderful.
franchise twice and failed both times.
Yeah, no, so I was reading about this, is that Friday the 13th 3 was supposed to be the end. And then they came back and made 4. And then they were, all right, this time we have to make it the definitive end because they're getting the law of diminishing returns. And this was the 4th Friday the 13th. It made the 4th amount of, like, highest amount of movie in the series at that point. But still, it's a $2 million movie that made $33 million. And that's when, like, movie companies are like, yeah, look, we don't care. That's a 10-time return on investment. Do it again.
Right.
And again,
Yeah.
and again, and again, and again. And then
It's
we'll
a fucking guy in a hockey mask in a campsite. Like,
It just
why are
killed
we
a bunch of
overthinking
naked
this? Yeah.
people.
It's like, listen. I know that physics doesn't explain Jason in space, but
Right.
economics explains
Right.
Jason in
Right.
space.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This
Yeah.
this is a franchise that I've alluded to it before. I love it and I hate it. There is not one good movie in this franchise. I own the Blu-ray box set. I've seen them all multiple times. I will watch the next one again, like today. Like, but I cannot explain my infatuation with these movies. They're all garbage. But I love it so
What
much.
if they did a spin-off TV series revolving around Mrs. Voorhees? Thoughts?
Uh, I think that would be crazy. You'd be crazy to do something like that.
What if I
Nothing
told
like
you
that
it
would
was
ever
starring
happen.
Linda Cardellini from Grandma's Boy?
Well, now hold on.
Are they
There you
really
go.
doing
Isn't it incredible that there are enough drugs for that to happen?
Yeah. It's really a testament
And
to
somehow
how
not
great
enough.
the country is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very with you, by the way, on that summary
Mhm.
of this franchise because I live in the world of like Stars reruns from my childhood,
Yeah.
and it's a fun comparison to Halloween, right? Because
Mhm.
Halloween comes out the gate with like a movie, like
Mhm.
something you watch to know more like about films. And
Yeah.
then it becomes this, whereas Jason
Yeah.
just lives in this water
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
He
entire
lives
time.
in the sewer and that's where he likes to stay.
Like the lore around like my history with Friday the 13th or just like horror movies in general like, as having an older brother, maybe I've said this before, like I was introduced to like horror films at an inappropriately young age. But like I never locked into like the Halloweens, Friday the 13th or Freddy Nightmare on Elm Streets like until I got much
Mm,
older, and even then like I've maybe only seen 3 Jason movies, and one of them is the space one. The
right.
other is Jason Goes to Hell, because I rented on VHS like all the time for some reason. And the third is this fucking movie, which I watched for the first time with 102-degree fever.
It gave you the fever. I got a fever and I need more stabbings.
But yet, as a kid, I did have like a Jason like Halloween hockey mask that glow in the dark.
It's so iconic. I
It
mean,
is.
and this is the one I had us all watch is the one where when people imagine what a Friday the 13th movie is, this is the movie they're picturing.
I wrote like this movie has like it opens with a previously
Yeah,
on and
that's
to bring
exactly
you up to
that's my
speed.
first note.
It's my first
Previously on
note
Friday
too.
the
I'm
13th.
like, oh, okay. So in case this is somehow your first Friday the 13th movie, here's all of the people that died before. It's a campsite of someone telling the story. Those characters never appear again.
Right. I
I
assumed they were from
loved
a
that
previous movie.
montage. It was like the yellow lines in a video game
Great.
just saying, "This is where Jason
Yeah.
kills."
Great.
Yeah.
It's fucking perfect for dum-dums like me.
It does honestly
Oh,
like it
he's Jason. Of
because it
course.
does right. It does bring you up to speed because no, it does. It even shows you
Yeah.
like oh, the mum was involved in the first one because I'd only ever seen the first one and I saw that one 30 something years ago. Like where Jason isn't even the killer, it's the mum, right? And then
Yeah, and then he
it
doesn't get
also
that mask
shows,
until the second one,
right?
right? Or
And
the
then
third
shows that he's got kind
Third
of like the other sort of like
The
the
Elephant Man mask. Yeah.
right. And
Well,
then
it's from
like
the town that dreaded sunset.
that's
Like
the what I
that.
was gonna
Yeah.
say,
That
the
was
one
what I
town
thought
that
of.
dreaded sunset. And then we sort of end up with like, this particular mask as well. So this is like, yeah, I think Will describes it perfectly. It's kind of like the prototypical just slasher movie. And kind of like Dennard was saying, like, Halloween turns up and then Hollywood learns the wrong lesson.
Mm.
And then it's just like, oh, instead of taking what actually works, just make a guy with a mask kill a bunch of people, right?
But what if
Same
that?
thing.
What if instead of a mask, it was a clown?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No,
Oh
no.
man.
And what if it was a spirit? And what if it was a this and a that? And the thing is that like, so we've like talked about this is that, because Ryan was just there talking about horror movies. And like, I don't like horror movies, but I have now, by doing this podcast, been exposed to and honestly been turned around on horror movies. Me going, because I think I watched too many scary movies too young when I was a kid, right? Like I sort of Gen X parent, like raised Gen X, so you were just left to your own devices, and your dad would just rent VHS tapes. They were like, "What the fuck is this that I am watching?"
Or you'd
I'm
go to like a
scarred.
sleepover at a friend's house, and they would have like a movie you weren't really allowed to
Right.
watch.
And so I've always kind of like, there are certain movies I'm still scared of because I was scared when I saw them when I was 9. And I'm like, in my 40s, I'm like, oh, that's a scary movie and I have to watch it. But doing
E.T.
this, yeah, E.T. terrifying. Doing the Lion King, doing this podcast has really like they've brought me to some such great horror
It's
movies.
immersion therapy.
And then I'm like, okay, I get it, I get the point, I get the joy, and it's also a really fun way to make like a cheap movie be amazing. Like an indie movie,
Yeah,
indie horror movies
sure.
can be imaginative. The thing is that there's nothing scary about this movie. There's at no point.
I mean, Crispin
I
Glover dancing is
This
truly
is
terrifying.
the only thing I've got in my notes. But yes, but is that at no point you're more amused by the kills. You're like,
I mean, it's that weird thing. Every slasher movie kind of has to decide what its relationship is to the fact that you're almost engaging with it the way you do an action film, where you kind of want to see this violence most of the time, and you
Yeah.
either kind of like embrace that or run away from that, or subvert in like a clever kind of way. And this one did not really choose one of those. But there
No.
are I don't know, there are one or two kind of crazy ones in this where I was like, okay, I see you decided
It's
to like zoom in here. But
Yeah.
I do think
I
I do
love
think it's
that.
kind of has a weird relationship with the victims, in that they are never really like, the best thing you can do with these victims is either make them like empathetic or contemptible in like a serious kind of way. And it never really sort of pushes these kids
I
out of the
I
way.
didn't care. Like it's hard because again, like this from going 84, it's hard to establish that like because we did what is it, Cabin in the Woods, which kind of skewers
right.
that whole thing. But
It
so I'm kind of watching it
upends
with that
the
lens. I'm
whole
like,
thing.
oh, she's the horny one. Here's the jock guy. Here's the
There's
virgin.
Yeah.
Here's the Doublemint twins for some fucking reason. Okay, that was great. That's who they were. It's great.
Yeah.
But like I think even yeah, like I didn't care about any of these people, and the whole shtick of this is like someone goes missing, they're killed, the next person has to go look for them, then they're killed, and the next person has to go look for them, and so on.
Yeah.
And it's just, or you get thrown through a fucking window. Like how many people get thrown through windows in
Even a
this?
dog got thrown through a window.
Crazy to me.
Which even as like a teenager seeing this for the first time, the dog being thrown through the window like
Fucked up.
elicited the biggest laugh out of me. Where I'm like, okay, just the entire cast is
So-
gonna go through a window at some point.
People through the window is kind of the peak of this film for me.
100%
it
agree.
gives it such velocity.
It's ridiculous, and like I knew the second that dog showed up in the movie, I'm like, oh no, like, but like the opening of this movie, because because that's where my notes both start and end. It was like the officers, like they find Jason dead in a barn, and they find the axe, and they put it in this comically small evidence bag. And it only fits the bottom of the axe, not the handle part where he was holding. And then
Yep.
the paramedics show up, and the cop walks up to them, and he's like, they're all dead. And the ambulance drivers are pissed off. They're like, all dead. Like, what were you even called here for?
Yeah,
What's the
what's
fucking
with
point?
the emergency? Some
Yeah,
emergency.
what's the emergency? Yeah, it was such a great
Well, I'll
line.
tell you what. So that was quite interesting. Is that this movie starts exactly where the third one ends. So it picks up in the aftermath of everyone's dead from the third movie.
So does Terrifier 2.
Don't even dare! Don't you dare!
Uh,
Don't you
Halloween
dare!
2 do that too in the hospital.
Yes, this is
Rocky 2
also
does that.
But I
yeah.
think they all, yeah, right?
But this
Yeah.
is the only Friday the 13th that does that. So it actually has locations and like moments and stuff from previous movies. Like it picks it up exactly. But then it's interesting like that as soon as the EMTs turned up, I was sitting there, the woman, I go, I know this person. I know this person. And she's in it. She doesn't even have a line in this one. But she is from War Games. She is
Yes.
from she's the one on the mic that's
Oh.
doing the announcements inside the room.
Oh, yeah.
DEFCON 3. I go,
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
I've seen War Games 85,000 times, and as soon as that woman turned, I go,
Oh, this movie is
I
like a
know
who's
you.
who of like I remember this person like from Weird Science. She was one of the girlfriends in Weird Science,
Mhm.
and then obviously the Doublemint twins. Sure,
It's an
and then,
IMDb movie. It's
And
like
then-
you're all over the IMDb going, where do I know these people from?
right, and Corey Feldman from just current.
Well,
Corey
this is the
Feldman.
thing, right? So then I go into this movie blind, and like suddenly I see Corey
I wish
Feldman.
this movie made me blind.
But it's got Corey Feldman and Crispin Glover in, and it's like, I think where are my notes? It was something on the lines of, "Oh yeah, like yay, young Corey Feldman." Immediately followed up with, "Ooh, normal Crispin Glover. I mean, I don't want normal Crispin Glover. I
Yeah.
want random. He's being such a generic normal person. I'm like, this is weird. This is throwing me off. And then he starts dancing later in the movie. I go, oh, thank
Wild.
God. Crispin
Wild.
Glover
It is-
finally
yeah.
making choices again.
It's before I think he probably discovered acid on the set of this movie.
It's unusual seeing him, and I kind of, I don't know, I enjoy his presence because, like, you know, I mean, you've seen infinitely more movies than me at this point, or even before this. But, you know, some bad movies, it's like you're in a swamp the whole time, and some you're just watching a free electron bounce around.
Yeah.
And I really think this is more of a free electron kind of movie. You're just, it's like, what is.
Yeah, I mean,
I do not know where this train is going.
his whole
Yeah.
character motivation is because it's just a bunch of kids getting away to this rental house like on the lake that's also next door to this family that
It's never really
lives there
explained.
full time. Yeah. And it's like you've got Crispin Glover who's like fawning over this girl who won't call him back, who's also not on this trip, but then his horny friend who's good at computer.
Ted,
And
yeah.
you've got
I'm just trying to
the promiscuous girl and her friend who's kind of a virgin but likes the other guy. Like,
Honestly,
it's
I was having
unclear how they
trouble-
all know each other.
I was having trouble telling the girls like apart, and then they brought two twins in as well. I'm like, now everyone
Sure.
looks the same.
completely
This is
completely
fucking
gave up.
Oh, because then you have
Yeah,
the older sister on the other house who meets creepy hitchhiker who's there hunting Jason, I
That's
think.
the thing is like we're three-quarters of the way through the movie, and then I go, wait a minute. He's hunting Jason, and he's related to someone that died in the previous movie? Is
Yes.
that what's
Yeah, they
going on?
bring in this reverse slasher, and he's just like in and out like a lightning bolt. Like you can't do that. I have questions.
So he is the older brother of a girl who dies in part two. And part two takes place, I'm not even joking, like 4 days before this movie. Like in the timeline of the movie. Not enough time for this guy to have learned that his sister's been murdered, fly out to Jersey, and like because he has like tent set up and all this like information on Jason that he's gathered in like 72 hours.
Yeah, he did have
Like-
a lot of newspaper.
Yeah, he had the news
cuttings.
clippings and everything. Like, are you a reporter who also is an NRA rep who?
Right.
Right.
It was
Yeah.
interesting because it's like they meet, like Corey Feldman and his sister meet this guy with sort of
Oh, 'cause
like
their
a
car
machete,
breaks
a
down, right?
backpack,
Yeah.
and a rifle on the side of the road in Jersey, and they're like, well, one, why don't you come home with us? And then two, Corey Feldman is like, hey,
Come up to my room.
yeah, it's like, I'm the guy with the weapons from the side of the road that your 11-year-old child just met. I'm going to go up to his bedroom
Is-
now.
is
and
Corey
Julie Hackett, like,
Feldman-
the mom's like, no problem.
I wish it was Julie
Yeah,
Hackett.
would've been
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
great.
Is Corey Feldman playing like a young Tom Savini because he's making all of these like creature masks and stuff? Like that's his whole
Us-
shtick.
Essentially, Tom Savini was famously like lured back to this franchise because he did all the VFX in the first one. And when they said we're doing two, he was like, "That sounds like the dumbest idea ever." And so he was not involved in the other movies, but they brought him back here because they're like, "Well, we're gonna kill Jason, your creation in this one." And he was like, "Oh, well, if you do that, and this is gonna be the last movie of the franchise, I'll absolutely come back."
Yeah.
And so I suspect that part of like the gimmick was like, and you can also just fill this room with all your unused VFX. And he was like,
Well-
I got to get a tax write-off somehow on this.
So
Where's
I
my
was-
corkscrew?
Corey Feldman's character was actually supposed to be a bit of an inventor. So it explains the bit why when the car breaks down, he knows it's the solenoid. You know, so his room was it was supposed to be a bit more of like a lab, and it's just that he had like, and he was going to come up with gadgets, and they basically just said it wasn't working, and it's something that they just kind
We'll
of
save that for the
out.
Goonies.
Yeah.
If the movie wasn't going to be great or was going to be a big swing, because it's a pretty chaotic movie,
Yeah.
I really do wish, because I see it in their DNA, I see the twinkle in their eye that they backed away from. The whole Home Alone versus Jason setup,
Yeah,
I would
it's right there.
watch that 3 times.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
right
yeah.
there.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but the problem is that Jason only kills people like who are having sex. So it's like that's why we're like we can't do
But
Home Alone unless they put it on the Epstein.
you
Island
get
thing.
that scene too, like when the when the hitchhiker's like camping down the lake and he hears something, he goes out to investigate and comes back and his gun is smashed. Like
Yeah,
That's the thing with Jason that I've never really understood is like, what are his powers or his limitations? Because the dude can just fucking
Well,
teleport.
that's the thing, is that
Like, I get that it also doesn't matter.
as the movies go on,
Mhm.
he can regenerate. He can be in different places. It's just, I think it's a who gives a shit.
Yeah, sure. Well, also, like he's like moving bodies too. Like sometimes he'll leave a body for someone to find it, but
And
other
then
times he's like,
yeah.
where is he putting all of these?
If I could defend Jason versus Home Alone,
No, go for
Please. Yeah.
because I've lost my mind.
it.
Now, we all know that Friday the 13th is a deeply original movie franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it might be a little heretical for me to suggest to rip something off, but there's kind of a little joy to like, in Predator, they figure out, oh, he only attacks like armed people or people who shoot back or whatever. Imagine the moment where you realize Jason only goes after if you fuck.
Yeah.
Right.
Like imagine that scene.
Well, you just described It Follows.
True. That is true.
That is
I did,
actually
just
literally what happens.
The only way to stave off this deity is to fuck.
No, this,
You're welcome.
this- so
You're
this
welcome,
movie-
Hollywood.
Well, there's
It Follows
plenty-
2 coming 2026.
This one is a pretty
follow
pretty
Potter.
horny movie. Like it's like for me, I mean, honestly, I was having fun from the very beginning. I mean, like for me, like we start off in the morgue where we've got this guy whose name is like
God.
Axel or something like that. But I'm like, what? Why? It's one of those tropes in movies that why does every doctor who works in a morgue why are they always eating a sandwich and why do they always put it on like top of the dead body?
Because it's hilarious.
I know, but it's always it's such a trope that it's like they're always eating
Yeah,
it to show
of
how much
course.
they don't care about dead bodies. Not only does he put like a sandwich on one, but he's like, oh, the other body's kind of hot. It's like, wait, dude, yeah, but she's still hot.
Hey,
It's-
meet me in cold storage. Like, what?
It is kind of interesting watching like tropes like that just drift from like an idea of purpose.
Yeah.
Because I know that, like all these like in all these medical dramas, like the idea is you have to desensitize yourself a little to just do whatever crazy ass surgery you're trying to do. And here we are in like Friday the 13th part 4. It's like, okay, so why does he do that? I don't know. He's a doctor. Let's move on.
What
We
is
have
it?
campers to kill.
General horniness.
But exactly, they so nothing gets people hornier apparently than douchebags and dead bodies because like now they're like
Yeah.
about to have sex in the morgue up against a dead body,
And
and I'm like, come on, guys.
there's like a real will they won't they there too between these two characters. Like she is not into it until she definitely is.
very into it suddenly.
And then
It feels like with that scene in particular, it was like a conversation between two writers where like one writer would be working on the scene, he's like, wait, I gotta go take a call, and then the next guy would come in and write her dialogue, and then he'd walk away, and then this guy would be like, I don't remember writing this, but we're on a deadline, we just gotta go, because it's so totally inconsistent within
It's
the same scene.
Same with the acting. Like in the opening scene, it was like I said, it looks like every actor went to the Nomi School of Acting from Las Vegas,
Right.
like the showgirls level of just that. Like, where are we
Right.
acting? We're gonna
It's-
act here. We're gonna be at 11. That's what we're gonna
Yeah.
do. And I'm like, guys, bring
better
it.
for it. Yeah.
Subtlety. No
Nomi versus
Always
Jason.
Max
Damn.
Spinal Tap, yeah.
And it's like he just comes and like he just comes back to life. That's
Yeah.
like that's how the premise of this movie is. Jason's dead, yeah, but then he comes back to life. How?
Yeah, because before it was
I
like
will
he was
give-
struck by lightning or something. I remember
Right,
that
at
being
least
the
do
thing,
something.
right?
He just comes back to life in this one.
Oh.
That's
He's
it.
like, "Ugh." How long has it been? Oh, like,
It's 2 hours. Since the
I
lo-
almost wish they stayed in that hospital Halloween 2 style for a bit because there's something about the way the movies enjoy those corridors, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a fun place to do that kind of thing, and I
There's a lot
enjoyed
of-
those 2 kills.
You can get a lot of
Yeah.
creative. That's the one thing that was like I've seen so many more horrific. Like I know I keep going back to Terrifier, but like I'm such a gore whore. Like I love that practical, like crunchy, gooey,
Yeah,
just gore.
He's out of his mind.
Fucked up. But like in this, like I was just it felt a little dated to me. I mean, I get that it was because I wrote like he just strangles her and then stabs
just-
her, right?
And they don't really linger on it. It's like you just
No,
hear it,
no.
cut, and it just
Yeah.
cuts. And I was
The
like,
one,
it's
the
not
one,
very gory.
the grossest thing in this movie was the sound effects of all of the kissing. That was like that shit was
Did they-
so fucked up.
It's like the
Should
sound
they have
effects of
ADR'd
fat
more making
people
out for
eating.
you?
I wish, yeah. Yeah.
God.
It reminds me of like the Toast of London bit where he has to do ADR for a gay porn and he's just like, like kissing. It's all I could think about. But that, like the deaths, yeah, like they're I too wish they would have spent more time in that hospital, like at least showing how he's getting. I guess it doesn't matter. Like you don't need to see him like fumbling along. I mean, they made that movie last year that was like, what is it? It's basically a Jason movie shot from the point of view
Oh,
of.
The dog.
It's just got
no,
the
no,
worst
no.
fucking title. No. It's
In a Violent Nature.
In
That's
a
what.
Violent Nature, and his name's Johnny, and it's just.
Uh,
But that did have one of the most inventive kills I have ever seen in a movie. I watch
Mhm.
it every night before I go to sleep.
See, it's
I
good
will
that
check it out to give myself deluxe dreams.
when we
Yeah.
do the like the horror movies. Like I said, we've done some of the very subversive ones, or the ones
More elevated. We don't do a lot of like
well, like
slasher
the
stuff usually.
but Tucker and Dale versus Evil
Great. Yeah.
Mhm.
is one of the all-time greats. As in, like there's just the misunderstood that I kind of like make this exact movie again from Jason's perspective and
100%.
explain everything. Like
Yeah.
it'd be very entertaining.
Yeah.
Because like for me, like there was one thing, and I did have a question. I actually managed to find an answer to it, but I want to get into talking about this. Is something that I always find interesting when I'm watching movies is when there's a movie inside a movie, and
Mhm.
it's like
The vintage
sometimes
porno
it's
they're
like
watching.
well, exactly. Sometimes it's a specific like okay, that's actually a reference the director's doing in the background,
Mhm.
or in this particular case, I was just confused. My question was okay, were these real movies? So the first one I was wondering about is when the morgue attendant is also in between watching the strangest, horniest
He's watching Pump It Up with Sue.
aerobics.
Yeah, he's
I was
watching
like,
like it's like a
substance.
squat montage basically.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm watching this going, this is really bizarre. And then I was like, okay, is this a choice?
I better do
Or
some
is-
more research.
I did, I did, and I discovered it's actually Aerobicize. It was a TV series that ran from 1980 to 1982, where Ron Harris assembled a series of dancers, athletes, models, actors, and certified instructors to do very seductive aerobic exercises. So it's deliberately.
So they were just running headfirst into that dual audience thing.
Right.
It was running headfirst
Yeah.
into what Baywatch would become as well.
Right.
It's like okay, they're doing aerobics, but we're going to do it where everybody's ass is facing each other, and we're going to shoot it in a
Sure.
very sexy way. Because I was just so confused. It's like, what is he watching?
I too had to rewind that
Yeah.
scene several times.
Yeah.
But it reminded me of like The Substance, like her doing,
That's
Pump It Up.
exactly where
too,
my
like,
mind
yeah,
went as
yeah.
well. Gonna pump it up.
Right.
We're gonna pump
Oh
it
man,
up.
if only it had that song applied to it. Fuck.
I almost said the sentence workout media used to be so much weirder, but then I remember that everything is also insane right now
Yeah,
and
everything.
Yeah.
Right.
like remodel. There's like, so here's things that I did to my face to become perfect.
Right.
And it's like someone just with all the bandages from Invisible Man. You're like, okay.
You're so right. You used to have those like aerobics, like
Every
like
morning.
fit influencers, like
Yeah, it would be
Yeah.
like it would come. You'd be watching a morning show, even in the UK, and it's like, all right, for the next 8 minutes, we're going over to the aerobics person, so you can do it in your house and stuff like that. It's like, okay, I guess that's a thing.
I think the most surprising thing about that factoid is that you said it only lasted 2 seasons, like 2 years, and
Yeah.
it is not still going on to this day. Like,
The internet ruined that.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, there you go. Aerobicize season 1 collection, 1981.
add to cart.
yeah, I was gonna say, how much on Amazon is that going for?
It's on
There's a
YouTube.
4K.
It's on YouTube, guys. Yeah, there we go. The
That is
that works you up.
surging towards a reboot. The music is there for it.
Yeah.
You would
The substance
Yeah.
just get
proves
like
that.
City
Yeah.
Girls on loop.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
there you go. There you go. People talking about it on the Gen X Reddit as well. The 15-minute sexercise short from the early 80s. So it's kind of, I guess
Wonderful.
this is like before you could have like, porn. It was like, we can get away with aerobicize,
Yeah.
It's like,
Right.
let's do that.
Used
Yeah.
to be a proper country.
The other, so there you go. The other question I had was about the stag film. So the black and
Oh, yeah.
white sort of like, thing that they find later in the movie and that one of the kids is watching throughout and it cuts to it constantly. That I'm like, I haven't been able to find an answer about this yet, but I'm like, that looks just like a real stag
Yeah.
film.
I think that is one of the earliest recorded like adult themed films that they would show. Like that was
Right.
the thing.
So
Huh.
these things, so they were often silent. So they
Again,
often,
extensive research.
right. No, I remember reading about this whole thing. Is that like again, this is, before our generation would find pornography in the middle of wooded areas on the side of railways. It's just the way it was.
Oh yeah, like porn was just out there in like little Breath of the Wild temples.
That's right.
They were like little like borrowers that would just leave porn, and you would like it would just be moved around, and that's how you'd see things. Is that the proto before that? Like I guess our parents' generation and higher is these reels that then like would be kept in a dusty cupboard, and then they'd bring it out.
Somehow 35 millimeter reel that ran for what seemed like 4 hours.
It was going and going and going. But I was sitting there going, I was like, how Will was saying the same thing. Like, sometimes your movie production head kicks in, and I'm like going, so this is probably like a real one. Where did they find it? Did they have to license this? Do the people that are in this, like, it's that whole, I couldn't, I genuinely think someone was like, oh, I've got one of those. We can use that. I was just, that was another
The prop guy definitely had a collection of those.
It is definitely a mind vortex. I think for a second I was thinking, what if they made it for this? Is there going to be a killer in this movie?
Because then I was like going, because I had that thought as well. Because I go, no, they have, because if they have made it for the movie, they've done it very authentically.
And he had to set up that whole projector and the screen. Like he was setting this thing up, and like it's just him sitting there smoking weed, laughing maniacally at this film with no audio.
While everyone else is getting naked.
Everyone else is fucking.
Bro, dude, seriously, get your priorities.
This is the kind of effort we had to go through to watch porn before we had Grok. So think about that, kids, when you're asking Grok to make non-consensual images of your baby.
When you're asking Grok
it used to be so much worse.
Make images of sitting Congress people and your classmates and your cousins. Just, think of all the effort that really...
Yeah.
Respect the generations that came before.
The black and white sex movie from Friday the 13th 4. Go. This is what I...
Here's kind of a funny thing. For as sort of stitched together as the non-murder events in this often feel, it kind of has a clearer thesis on dating stuff than Just Friends did.
Right.
A lot of overlap. I like where this is going.
Exactly, because Crispin Glover's nickname is Dead Fuck.
Right.
Because the conversation that happens at the beginning with 80s car safety on full display, as Crispin Glover and the other guy are sitting in the trunk that is also with no glass, so their heads are outside the car. But they're inside. I was like, well, everyone's about to lose their heads.
That just makes Jason look impatient.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why they were killed. Poor
I do appreciate
safety.
I do appreciate this movie had the classic skinny dipping scene and I like that they showed how terrible they all are at the rope swing, because
everyone gets it wrong.
Real bad.
This is prior to Action Park existing, so.
But it made me think of, like, if you do actually watch In a Violent Nature, a lot of that movie is just the killer standing there, like, listening to this from, like, he's outside the cabin and they're all having this conversation, so it's him just like waiting around like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm just it's just him waiting for someone to cross his path for him to then kill.
Would now be a good time to go in? No.
It's like, it's just him lumbering around or like standing outside the campfire as they're telling the story. It was a cool idea on that perspective, but it's a very slow and boring movie.
Well,
it kind of makes you wonder, like, given the sort of two attitudes towards victims, is one of the like potential perfect slasher films basically just like the full plot of like a Good Babysitter's Club or something, and then suddenly everyone gets womboed? Or
keep going. I'm
like if you're trying to relate to them before they passed, I guess.
Yeah, because this one, it's just so, like Ryan said, is it hits the proto generic like just approach.
The hitchhiker in the beginning who eats a banana and dies.
Because
just the shot of her squeezing the banana, like just for that.
Holding a sign that says Canada and love. So that's her sign says Canada and love.
Yeah.
Why?
The tagline for Just Friends.
And then she's eating a banana. And then like Jason's like, and all I've got as my note is just die banana bitch. It's just like he's like, oh, you have to die for eating a banana.
That was the working title.
It's too established to let you know that he, like, because they're going that way. and it's to let you know that like, oh, Jason's nearby, so he's gonna get there soon. So you know it's a matter of time before he shows up and does
Don't
more killing.
explain this shit to me. No,
The
don't.
dude fucking teleports though. I don't understand. Like,
So I guess Jason kills you for sex, and the banana is vaguely phallic. So he's like,
Exactly.
"Look, I gotta get from point A to B. This is my only like."
That looks too much like a dick.
Yeah.
You've got to die.
yeah, his vision's not very good, so maybe.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
His eyes are already fucked up, and he's.
I think
wearing
it's
a
just
mask
the
as
implication.
well.
He just the sex thing, sure, but I think he just kills anyone that remotely crosses his path.
Well,
He-
it's-
Yeah,
exactly.
it's based on like screenwriting beats where Jason just realizes, oh, we've gone like 5 pages without a murder. I gotta,
Yeah.
I gotta clock in at the murder.
But this
factory.
one, it was so much of like one person goes off, they die. Someone goes off to look for them, they die.
Yeah.
Cut back to the house, it's them all hanging around like, hey, what happened to so and so? Like, better go look for it. It's so much of that, and a lot of people getting thrown through windows.
I have a pocket theory with this movie because it was again one of those sort of Stars rerun kind of things for me,
Mhm.
and I think it would actually be almost a letter grade better if, for whatever reason, the house party and the family it's just one house. Like maybe she's throwing a house party because all of the space stuff that makes this movie crazy
Yeah.
goes to a way easier time.
Yeah, because the houses are next door to one another.
Right.
It makes
It's they never fully like why. Yes, exactly. It's the I'm constantly confused as to who people were. So you have the people that live there, the vacation teens, and then like the random guy who's also, by the way, avenging. And so they're
Yeah.
all moving. They've all got different
Is he?
motivations. The mum gets killed off screen.
I
I
was
kept
wondering
waiting
if I
for the
missed
mum to
that.
come
Yeah.
back. Like it was just these kind of confusing things. And like I said, the kills happen very quickly, and
Yeah.
like sometimes they happen off screen where you just see a shadow. I mean, I
Well-
will give credit that first one where the girl's like, "Oh, I want to have sex. He's not going to have sex with me. I'm going to go and skinny dip in the and lie.
I'm
in
gonna
the
swim
random-"
out at night to this raft and just lay in it.
Yeah, and just lying it
I
naked.
have
But we get
grown tired of this earth.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
ready
Yeah.
to leave.
But I did like the effect of the knife. It's very reminiscent of coming through the neck in the first
Yeah.
Friday the 13th, where it comes through her back. And I was like,
Right.
all right, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. But that's about the most imaginative it got.
I think because I did sort of drag on a lot of the kills in this, I should talk about what I did enjoy was that rapid. Forget the logic of it for a second, because I know there's none, but like
I was about to say,
her
what
just
logic?
running around and running into each body, I thought just
Yeah.
as like a series of like sort of I don't know high energy images. I just enjoyed that a lot. I thought
It
that
was
was fun.
It was pretty
That was
good.
cool.
It's
One
when
of
you
the-
also-
realize everyone's dead.
One
Just
of the things
full
I
credit
liked-
to all of the velocity kills in this. Like they go better than all the
the
stabbing ones for
harpoon
some
to the
reason.
dick. Hell
Yeah.
yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
My note was for you, Ryan. It says, I went to Crystal Lake and all I got was my dick shot off. What? which is his
Hell
RoboCop
yes.
T-shirt from
Yeah.
Detroit. But it
I
was,
like
yeah.
the virgin girl like hooks up with the guy in the shower.
Oh,
And
I,
then
I wanted to talk about that for a second.
I
bet
bet you
you
did.
did.
Where she goes, like
That's
she gets
right.
out of the shower because they didn't fuck in the shower, but she was gonna go get like because they were gonna share the bed.
I think
But
I think they did. I like to think
Okay,
they did.
okay. Yeah. You have gone on record saying that. But she goes to like blow dry her hair, and I was waiting for like something kooky to happen, and it cuts back to him and like 7 other deaths, and it cuts back to her several minutes later, and her hair is still just soaking wet. And she's-
Yeah.
what was the point of that?
That storyline of all the characters, because there are no characters really in this movie outside
right.
of Corey Feldman, but their relationship I thought was actually like a bit of like a better movie seeping through that they tried very hard to push down, because like she's so sweet, and then the guy is not like a stereotypical like
Right.
I'm here to get laid. Like he actually kind of likes her. It's actually like a sweet love story.
Yeah.
And this stupid movie is just like, we can't have that. Like,
He was killed
I
for
actually
singing.
agree. Like, it would be more fun if they like leaned more into that, and then you
Yeah.
also, would care more when someone gets like pitched through a window, which is so great.
Exactly.
God, that was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I will say, though-
you're just waiting for them to like ding, ding, ding. Like,
That
you know,
that stunt of her getting pulled through the fucking window and thrown onto the car
Yes,
was
thank you.
fucking wild.
Exactly what I
Because
wanted to
that
talk
did
about.
not look like a dummy.
Because it did not cut,
No.
and that car did not bend. In fact, metal broke on that car. Then I'm like, that stunt woman just took a huge
Yeah,
hit.
that looked
And it was
rough.
done in slow motion, and they held the shot. And I'm like, you know what? It's kind of like in like that Andy Samberg movie, like Hot Rod or something.
Hot
There's
Rod,
an
yeah.
amazing shot at the beginning where a stunt goes wrong, and it looks like the most incredible stunt going wrong because it's a stunt that went wrong, and that's the
Yeah.
stuntman breaking their femur for real. And
Oh,
they like, well, keep it in the movie, and that's what
it's
I feel like
in the
this one.
movie.
It's like I remember when I was like, yeah, I said I was being a bad guy in that Hong Kong action movie.
Here we go.
And but I was watching the scene being shot. I didn't get to do any of the cool shit. Two of the other guys that were like other henchmen were involved in this fight scene with the main actors. And there was a bit where the main actor did like a spin kick and actually kicked one of the guys in the face. And then the other guy sort of like continued the scene but suddenly stopped because oh, did you kick it? And then the director's like, what are you doing? Like, finish the shot. But he's like, it looks so fucking good. He actually kicked him in the face. Just like, I don't have to hide it. It's right there. Why do you finish it? Like, I was like, that's when I was like, oh, so, like, okay, fine, it's an accident and we'll fix it afterwards. But it looked great for the movie.
Yeah.
That's
Just
what that looked
one of
like.
the only contexts where an accident and a miracle are the same word.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's kind of the rule in like stunt people world is the shot where you get injured is the shot that ends up in the movie. Because
Oh.
Terminator 2 famously has like the where the T-1000 pulls the guy out of the semi truck.
Mhm.
The dude lands on his head,
Oh,
and like James Cameron was like, oh, like yikes, we won't use that. And the stunt guy was like, no, 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 he injured himself. That's the one that goes in the
Yeah.
movie.
yeah.
For
When he woke up
insurance
from a coma a
purposes.
month later, he's like,
Yeah.
Did you get it? Do we get it?
Wow, so Valhalla is just like half successful stuntman, I guess, right? Like,
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Exactly.
But yeah,
but yeah, she took a Mick Foley bump there.
That was
Oh.
a big one. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. No, that was a big one. And then there's another one that's another good fall where you see the stunt woman hit the ground, but you can tell like, okay, there's a pad.
It's a pad?
They're going, but
Yeah.
like,
And I'm
it's-
convinced they just did that to show her in her underwear.
Right.
They linger on that shot.
This
like a-
movie, no.
because the
Nah.
planks of wood land like over her shoulder. I'm like, that just seems unplanned.
but still,
Yeah.
still the best window exit. It happens. It's the dog, and it's like it's inferred that the dog is thrown. Now you see the dog jump, but they also give you the sound effect of. "Wah!"
Oh, the
Yeah.
dog. That's right. The dog's not thrown through the window. The dog jumps through
Does
the
it
window.
though? That's the thing. It looks like a dog jumping through the window to escape.
Yeah.
But I was like, didn't the movie was it just inferring that he had hucked the dog out of the window? I was like, yeah, I was.
I think that
That's
he
not how
threw the
dogs
dog into the mom that falls out of the movie.
Ah. The mom will return in Avengers Doomsday.
She's gonna bring it back to the sort of Mrs. Voorhees style roots, of the kid in the sequel.
They do lead into Tommy turning into a complete fucking psychopath.
Well,
'cause
thank you.
Well, did you see the fifth?
Okay, no, I haven't seen the fifth, but this is what I want to talk about because 2/3 through the movie, I write down, oh, this kid is totally going to put on one of the masks, isn't he? Because we've kind of like set up, we've got all
Yeah.
these masks up. So I honestly thought that Corey Feldman was going to try and help by putting on a mask to look like Jason and that he was going to get killed by his sister. I was honestly praying for Brian to get
better movie.
Exactly. I thought that's where it was going. Instead, what we get is like what I thought was a pretty interesting ending. So yes, Will, can you do me a favor? Does number 5, is it speculating that now Corey Feldman's character is Jason?
Friday the 13th, part 5, Tommy Boy.
Yeah, tell me about this.
So part 5, A New Beginning, is the one that takes place theoretically years later, but also just a year later, because Tommy is a full-grown adult in the next
Yeah,
one.
right. Okay.
But the movie came out the next year, and so it's also postulating that the 80s lasted 30 years.
It did in Stranger Things.
Exactly. But so it's Tommy goes to a home for troubled youth. The movie was directed by a full-on porno movie director. And
Great.
this was like his only Hollywood movie, and it is very obvious when you watch the film. but Tommy in it is like going psycho the entire time. He's just people will like be like, "Hey man, like you're kind of a jerk," and then he'll just full on like pick them up and throw them through tables. Like he is a violent, unhinged maniac. Almost no real dialogue. He's just psycho. There is, and he's being driven crazy
Why are
because.
you diminishing his trauma? Like, what's wrong with you?
But the movie is like you see visions of Jason and it's driving him crazy. And then also somebody is pretending to be Jason
Oh no.
and killing people. And the movie ends with like Tommy putting on the
Putting
mask
the mask.
himself and
Okay.
he's got a knife. And you're like, all right, I see what the sixth one's going to be.
Yeah.
No, you're a fool. The sixth one is not about that. The sixth one is Tommy, played by a completely different actor, undeterminate amount of time later. He and Horshack from that what is that sitcom? Like Welcome Back, Cotter,
Welcome back.
are driving to the cemetery, and Tommy's whole goal is to dig up Jason's body to make sure he's dead, and then he is
Incredible.
stabbing him with his corpse with a metal bar when lightning strikes
Uh,
and Jason comes back as an immortal zombie, and we get a whole new. And so that's why in the following movies, Jason cannot be killed is because he's a zombie. In
all right,
all
we'll
the
keep going. And 7.
7, he fights Carrie, who is not legally for legal purposes not Carrie. 8 is of course the greatest movie of all time. Jason Takes Manhattan. Then the second time they try to end the franchise, Jason Goes to Hell. Then Jason X.
I've seen Jason Goes to Hell's where he turns into a worm and crawls into people. And
Yes, the
possesses them.
revelation that he's always
Sure.
been a demon worm.
But that's
And-
where you get the tease at the end with the Nightmare on Elm Street.
Which again, you
I
fool!
have to
You
say-
think that's the next movie, but you are totally wrong.
In the degeneration of these,
Yeah,
it's far. There's kind of a magic to the Manhattan one that is not
Yes,
quite there
yeah.
in space.
You're
Because
right.
with Manhattan, it's like there's the hover question of, are you sure?
That seems like
space
it was-
we're committed to this spiral.
That
Right.
seems like it was a completely different movie that they're like, you know what? Let's just put Jason in this one.
But
Very
they
much.
were watching Muppets Take Manhattan, and they're like, "We could do
100%.
this, but with Jason."
Yeah.
That movie's also funny because you could tell, like, right prior to production, they ran out of money. And they were like, guys, we have like $27 left to make this movie. We can only afford like 5 minutes of Manhattan in this movie. The rest of it must take place on a boat.
But hey, Jason makes a commute.
He
Very
does.
New Jersey.
He's
That's
got a
just
Manhattan.
he's got a Metro card. Yeah.
He's got a magic.
So I
Exactly.
would picture like him getting like bumping into the turnstile to not be able to pass through.
Such an obvious gag that they didn't do.
Just stabbing at it, trying to make it.
Give us money to
Right.
make these movies.
If I could, we talked a little about this. I just want to underline it, its weirdness. The mom's either warps out of reality or she's killed, obviously, but like they don't
Right.
show it. And I'm like, what? Were you worried I would care about that one?
Right.
Right.
They were like, "We can't kill."
It
the
is
mom."
perplexing though, like because they set that up. Like she walks out in the rain, she's investigating like the basement or something, trying to get the power back on.
And she
I
goes,
don't remember. Yeah, and then what?
Exactly.
Like
There's no sound
It's like,
effects.
and obviously she's screwed, but you want to see it. It's a slasher movie, not like
Well,
a.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're here for a slasher movie, not an inferred death.
her children's lives are already ruined. Like they're already coming up in a broken home. They've
Yeah.
watched countless people get murdered. Their dog jumped out a window. They're gonna like you're gonna be in an insane asylum. So
Yeah.
we need to know what happened to the mom.
So I think
Yeah.
this explains how Corey Feldman became Michael Jackson.
Yes, this is his literal origin story. This is what gave him the idea to do sex crimes. Allegedly. Allegedly.
I mean, so then he went from this to because Gremlins was 80.
He looked pretty close to Gremlins Corey
That's
Feldman,
right.
didn't he?
Yeah.
It was like this, Gremlins, Goonies,
Goonies,
Yeah.
and then
License to
everything
Drive.
else.
I love that
Like
movie.
he's the thing is, I always loved Corey Feldman. Like younger Corey Feldman is great. I think like him as like I thought was interesting is like he has
Lost Boys.
this movie and then he goes to do the Goonies, which has like adjacent. Hey, you guys!
Right.
He's
Yeah.
going- You know, like
alternate
when,
universe good Jason.
when
Yeah.
Jason takes off his mask, like that's the one.
He
I was
does
like,
look like
face reveal. He looks
Yeah,
like what's his face
when he comes up
Goonies.
with the idea, he's like, well, what if I found this old article? What if I make myself look like young Jason to question mark?
Aggressively
It,
shaving his head
he
with a
Oh
does
yeah,
he does look
he,
like like Sloth from the Goonies.
bit. Baby Ruth. But I will say, like that, I was saying that so many of the kills in this movie pull the punch, right? Like I said, it wasn't
Yeah,
really that crazy. Like
that's what I'm saying.
there's some, right? It just suddenly happened that we stab Jason in the face with a machete, and the shot of his face sliding down the
That was
machete,
cool.
It's awesome.
very
yeah.
fucking cool.
Yeah. It almost felt like a budgetary like limitation. Like the practical work was still great, but the
Mhm.
fact that it was edited so abruptly left like it just felt like
Well,
uh,
these movies famously had like a lot of issues with the MPAA, where like right out of the gate,
Oh.
all these movies would get an X rating,
yeah.
and so the pulling back on the deaths was like them trying to shave it down enough. It gets more and more ridiculous as the movies go on. By like 8, you're barely seeing like a frame of the actual murder,
Yeah.
unless they're knocking somebody's head off their body. But other than
Which
that,
everyone's having heart attacks.
yeah, it's pretty much.
Everyone's dying of natural causes.
Jason kills everybody by getting them addicted to
You know,
cigarettes.
Jason just putting banana, banana
Years.
peels everywhere.
Yeah.
Jason gets really into malpractice.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got an attorney at his side at all times. It's like, I wouldn't do that.
That's unfortunate that they had to like arm wrestle the
Yeah.
MPAA like that, though. That sounds like a deeply frustrating process. Like just
Because they have a
creativity is
deadline. They got to release
practically-
these movies every year. So they're like, we're out of schedule, guys.
I was actually
Yeah,
reading an
that's
interesting thread on Reddit last night about that very thing, about NC-17 and the MPAA, talking about how like so many of these X movies and NC-17s from the 80s, 90s, 70s, whatever, are now would barely be an R
Oh,
now.
for sure. Yeah.
And just and what would trigger them and what wouldn't. It was a really interesting thread about people going, yeah, like watch this movie. That's ridiculous that then this movie came out the same year and got an R. They were talking about RoboCop. They were talking about all kinds of stuff. But it's
Wow.
it's fun how like when you think about the specificity of what the MPAA would get triggered by, and how like okay, well we have to have 2 less frames of pubic hair, or we have all this kind of stuff. Otherwise, it's NC-17. It's very arbitrary.
The MPAA clean shaven only. That's
Yeah.
their
Well,
motto.
the thing is, though, you say that, but we were talking about one of the zombie movies. It was
Return of the Living Dead. Yeah.
Return of the Living Dead, where one of the characters is naked from almost
Trash.
the entire
Say
movie.
you put some respect on Trash's name.
Trash is name, trash.
Yeah.
She gets naked, and then she becomes a naked zombie. But it was like there was so much concern about her pubic hair that then they shaved her. But then when the producers came and she was shaved, they had to
And
then
buddy, the
add-
producers,
they checked. But then it was this whole thing about now we can't show that. So then it's like they had to sort of basically turn her into like a Barbie
they invented
doll.
the merkin for
Yeah.
that movie.
It was kind of
Incredible.
like this whole thing about the pubic hair was such a thing that I'm like because of that exact thing of like just okay, we can't do that, but we can't do that. We've got to find a middle ground. All right,
And
it's
that's
not
why
real hair.
Return of the Living Dead was just announced as part of the National Film Registry.
Great.
that movie
Must preserve this movie at all costs.
But it's like this movie was filled with everything.
It's got some charm to it, man.
It's
like-
you're not wrong. I get exactly why Will picked it. His
Yeah.
logic is sound. It is the prototypical Jason movie.
For
But
sure.
it's like, even to the point of like there's a bit in the basement where we've got mysterious stranger in basement with sister of Corey Feldman. And like he just starts getting murdered by Jason.
Mhm.
And he takes a while to
Get
get
out of
murdered.
here.
While he's being murdered, he's like, go, run, and cuts to her. And she's like, I will leave as soon as I've watched your entire murder. She stays and watches him get gruesomely. She just watches the whole thing for like 30 seconds and then goes, okay, I'm leaving. Leaves the basement and then does what?
Falls through the stairs.
No, just immediately fucking returns to the basement. It's like just
She just goes like
immediately.
this. I'm ready for a 1v1 of Jason. I wasn't gonna team up on him.
Yeah.
She just watched the guy get murdered, ran
This is
from
my
the murder
moment.
room, And she came back to it, and then like, oh, she's surprised when suddenly he's
And
found.
she runs, then she gets back into the house. She's got the machete now. And she's like to her brother, she's like, "What are you still doing here? Get out of here." And he's like, "No, I've got an idea." And that's when he fucking decides to shave his head.
I'm still here.
There's a. Is there, okay. Okay, so there's like,
Ollie
in
has been killed by
films,
Jason.
Ollie has been killed by films tell their own story in a way, right? Different cues and signals. And while there's what the dialogue says, there's what the narrative and all that says.
Hmm.
There's another story hiding in this movie, and it's of a girl that wants to be the champ. And keeps going back for one more 1v1 with Jason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she
She
is.
is like Rocky Balboa.
This is post her being thrown out of the window, right? Or is this after that?
I
Before
can't remember. She
I
just
think she's
keeps
thrown out the
going.
window after the guy dies.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's like
Yeah.
her middle loss. Like she's
Yeah.
That's her resurrection.
that's like
her
a Rocky
Phoenix moment.
1
I
loss.
was
She
about to
gets
say
thrown
it's
out the
Rocky
window.
1, Rocky 2,
Yeah.
Rocky 3. We just didn't get the training montage
Ooh.
of
Yeah.
her being able to take him down.
This movie should have had some sort of montage.
Well, it did.
Don't know what it is.
It opened with a montage of the previous 3 movies.
That's not what I mean.
Just Jason getting back into the game, just like, I can do
Yeah.
this. I haven't lost the touch. Yeah.
Him like going through progressively larger knives. Like, huh.
You have like Michael Myers with like the coach's towel around his shoulder and says, "Listen, buddy, you're never over until you're over."
Yeah.
Leatherface is his his
shit,
brother-in-law. Yeah.
But for like such an iconic like horror character, it's just he's just a scared little boy.
Mm.
That's, I mean, it's to the point where if you haven't seen Jason Takes Manhattan, I cannot recommend it enough. Because that movie ends with Jason being washed over in toxic sludge. Don't ask. And when the toxic sludge goes away, Jason reverts to
Just another
be.
dig at New Jersey.
I think that's the commentary. When the sludge washes away, it reveals that Jason has been like a 9-year-old boy this entire time.
Mm.
And so it's just him
What?
crying. I'm not even joking. It's just him as a 9-year-old boy crying,
I do remember that. Jesus
and the
Christ.
victims are just like, "Oh, that's Jason as he truly is."
He like leans over and winks at the camera.
Yeah, it basically
I'm
goes
a
credits
stinker.
after that. Yeah.
Ain't I a stinker?
God, what if we made 10 more of these?
We should. It is frustrating that there are only 12 Friday the 13th movies.
That is
That-
hilarious.
That honestly drives me insane.
What was the last one from like 2009?
Yeah, almost 20 years ago was the
No
last
way.
one.
I imagine part of the production hell logic is they think, okay, 13th one. Let's try to do like a goodish effort, and
Right. Let's try
I
to
don't
make it
understand that that's not what this is about.
Yeah.
right.
I want to see
Yeah.
people mutilated. But you're gonna fucking laugh at me, but it was rumored that the director from the Terrifier franchise was gonna take over and do his take on Friday the 13th.
How would that be
Well.
any like substantially different?
I think the gore would be hilarious.
I think that it would be Terrifier just with a better costume. And is that wrong? Is that a wrong progression to make for that franchise? Like,
Well, you're wrong
I
in that
think so.
there is no better costume.
I would say
I
as
will,
much as
sit in the heathen.
as much as I hate the Terrifier franchise and Ryan for introducing it to us, Art the Clown, the actor who portrays Art the Clown is a constant joy, and I do like seeing that guy pop up
He's great.
like in other places. I just don't like watching those movies, but you put him at like the Today Show or a McDonald's and just let him do
Alright,
his thing.
Will's bedroom.
But you're saying if it was that
Yeah.
exact same movie, but instead of Art the Clown, it was just Jason lumbering around and not being a character, that you would prefer that?
I would prefer that Terrifier movies not exist, is what I.
Oh.
Yeah. Ryan
Boo.
famously.
I don't think about Terrify. Maybe I'm getting too off track here, but I will always have a soft spot for movies that are like a pure version of one element or thing, and
True.
it is just maximum that on the
Oh, yeah.
blender kills, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it terrified when just that if there was a line, it's gone so far past it that
Yeah.
it's
It
laughing at the
becomes a
idea of a
comedy.
line.
Yeah,
Right.
it becomes a comedy. It's not about a horror. Like I go back to seeing that third one in the theater with a room packed full of lunatics, just laughing hysterically because it was just so absurd.
Yeah.
Like finally, I'm among my
Truly,
people.
truly Cordis
We all
voice.
hugged afterward. It was great.
The police were just taking everybody's names down.
But
Everybody.
I would be curious to
Yeah.
see. Like, I mean, they've rebooted. They've done the Halloweens. They did that trilogy, which was for better or worse. They've made an
I mean, the
unfortunate amount
Halloween
of
reboot was kind of funny because they had better and worse in there, I thought.
yeah, like
Right. Yeah.
yeah. The first one was great. The second one was I don't remember, and the third one was just eh, to me. But like they've done countless Texas Chainsaw reboots. Like they just did one not too long ago on Netflix. And then, why haven't had a proper Friday the 13th?
I
It's
think
not
for
fucking
this
hard. It's a guy in a
franchise
hockey mask killing people.
yeah.
Well,
I think for the
it's kind
Spiral
like,
of Madness,
yeah, go for it.
this one was on, like, we should be on, like, 18
Yeah.
of these, and it should be borderline conceptual, like, flatland lines getting stabbed by a hockey
But
mask.
Yeah.
instead, we're going to get a legacy sequel TV
Yeah.
show that revolves around his mom. Like, who is that for?
Yeah. I honestly think the only
It
reason
is
that
a,
TV show is
a curious path.
I think the only reason it's happening is because the character or no the writer of the original movie has like got a thing where he's like, no, I created Jason, I created Friday the 13th. He worked on none of the other movies, and I think
Oh.
it's like that's why the show is happening is he's somehow won the rights,
Uh,
but he only has the rights to the characters he created in the first movie, and so I think that's why the show is going forward.
Okay,
young,
well,
it's like
interesting
young,
enough.
the
Hang on a
young
second.
Sheldon of the Voorhees family.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
So we're talking about Crystal Lake. Is this what we're
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
I
But
think.
this is being
Crystal Lake, which
developed by A24.
Oh, this is going the wrong direction. This needs to be produced by literal garbage.
Okay, that's
Right.
back from. Okay, that's 2022. It was being developed under. So initial plans in 2003. Then it was being developed in 2022, and it was going to be like by A24. And then another producer started in 2024, and now it looks like 2025. Yeah, so Linda Cardellini as Pamela Voorhees. I mean, she is cool.
Yeah. What if Jason's mom was hot?
Yeah.
Finally.
Jason's mom TV spinoff. Like, hey, remember if like you were really drunk during Psycho? That's what we're gonna try to
Yeah.
portray.
It's yes, it's definitely a strange choice, and I think the thing is that if they did try to bring back a Friday the 13th, the thing is, Ryan, they have to do. They can't just put like a Friday the 13th 4 out, right? They can't just make a new Friday the 13th
No.
and then just people get naked and Jason.
Because they tried in 2009. They did. I think they just called that one Friday the 13th. Like
Yeah.
typical, right?
You've got to. I don't know. There's got to be a hook.
Friday the
now.
14th.
Right? Yeah, they skip 13, like Nebraska. But yeah, that's the thing. Is I just
Nebraska's a
feel like
state of mind.
you have to
You're
come
right.
up
Exactly.
with some clever way of actually doing it. Kind of like like you were suggesting earlier. Oh, do it from Jason's perspective, or do it.
Well, they did. Like that's what In a Violent Nature basically was. It was like, what if we took that? I think they wanted to originally make a Friday the 13th movie, but it became a rights issue. So it's like, fuck it, I'll just make the same exact movie, put the guy in a slightly different mask, and change his name from Jason to Johnny.
Right.
Yeah.
It works.
$80 billion. And it's getting a sequel.
See, that being said, though, like this movie, silly as it was also, it's just entertaining to watch. For all right, how is this person gonna get killed, and like how naked is this person gonna get, and you get answers to all of those questions many times throughout the movie.
I will say the last kill I want to talk about is the corkscrew thing became such a funny bit to me, like because
Yeah.
they established the corkscrew.
Yep.
The corkscrew goes missing. He then goes post-sex to, he's like, no, I'm gonna have more sex. I'm gonna open the only bottle of wine we have here because they're all drinking beer. They're all teenagers. They shouldn't have a bottle of wine. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But he gets stabbed in the hand and then cleavered in the face in like 2 seconds. It's
Yeah. It was a good
It's like a,
there was
it's
a
like,
lot
it's
of
like a
very
brick joke in slow motion.
Yeah, it's a hat on a hat. Yeah.
But there were lots of very sudden kills. Everybody pretty much dies, and then we get the the twist ending, like we were saying, of Corey Feldman then goes a little bit sort of hacks up Jason, jump cut to the hospital, and then we just get the really. I mean, I love how they, after the trauma this child has been through, they've still left him with just bits of hair.
Yeah.
They haven't they haven't cleaned
Put
him
a
up.
hat on him. No.
They haven't taken the makeup off the kid. The
No.
kid looks like he was found on the bottom of a lake, that he's been dead for 3 days, and you know, and then we just end the movie with like the straight up stare down the camera kind of thing.
The Revenant stare. Yeah.
That was very entertaining.
Academy.
When it comes to what Corey like did to his face in that, you know, the story is like theoretically, like, you know, is he communing with Jason in this moment, or Jason sees himself?
Right.
The part of me, because we get no active Jason, just like Sebastian had a very vanilla. What the hell is happening here?
It's so funny. The only two things I remember, like in the zeitgeist of this movie, I remember the Crispin Glover dancing gif, sure.
Amazing.
And I remember seeing maybe on Twitter like images of Corey Feldman looking like that. So knowing nothing going into this movie, I assumed that the other teens like were harassing him, like shaved his head just to fuck with him, and then he becomes the psychopath that kills all of them. That's what I thought going into this.
Look at you making a better movie. How dare you.
Boy, was I disappointed.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So, well, look, the thing is though, no, like, it's not the greatest movie that's ever made. It might be the greatest Friday the 13th movie that's ever been made. But at the same time, that's not what this podcast is about. The podcast is about trying to find the movie that best represents the state. And I'm definitely on Team Ryan as far as when Will suggested Friday the 13th, my reaction was, there's a set in Jersey? Like,
all of them are set in Jersey, including the one in space.
and the one in Manhattan.
They are geosynchronous with New Jersey.
Exactly.
That's right. It's like the New Jersey weather station or something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I had never known that Friday the 13th, like Crystal Lake was a New Jersey sort of vibe, but okay.
Are there lakes in New Jersey?
I know, right? And then, like I said, when we
no
get
way to know for sure.
When we get to Just
Lake
Friends,
is a strong word. There are bodies of fluid.
Yeah.
we don't want to talk about the bodies of fluid.
Bodily fluids. Yeah.
But yeah, Just Friends is very much like talking about Jersey, but again, shot in Saskatchewan. I mean, that's the one thing that I was also noticing watching that movie is one, that people seemed really cold because you could see their breath when they're outside, and two, you could tell the snow was real. And I was like, wow, I said they can't be shooting that in Jersey because you can't rely on that. And they're like, no, we're up in Canada where it was minus 32. And that's when they were shooting.
Get me back in that fat suit.
So
I mean, yeah, our winner last time was Clerks, right?
Which is kind of like a defining Jersey movie. It's like we have in many ways kind of brought like a couple of small children to fight Mike Tyson in this particular sort of like.
Oh, you're just full of good movie ideas.
So yeah, I'm looking for a compelling argument, basically, in this particular case. I'm looking for somebody to throw something out there to maybe derail me. Like Will, Ryan, anything that you can sort of bring to the table.
Do any of these movies outside of Clerks love New Jersey? Like,
I wouldn't even say that Clerks loves New Jersey. I think Clerks kind of shows that people in Jersey don't give a shit whether you like them or not. It's like it's just very much like, no, we're Jersey.
Much like the entire ethos of the whole Friday the 13th franchise. We don't care if you like
I mean,
it or not.
I can look past my love and hatred for Just Friends, but like when it came to Jersey, I just pictured the one line in that movie when he's talking about he's like, he's Dinkelman, he's Jersey, he skis in his jeans, like that's just burned into my brain. So outside of that, I have zero arguments for that movie.
So apart from the one jean skiing comment, nothing.
I think the rental Porsche that he does drive has a New Jersey license plate. I'll give it that.
Yeah, I mean,
For
honestly,
those two things.
that in itself was an interesting choice. That I was like, when the car turned up,
With the
and
chains on
it's got chains on the
Yeah.
tires. I'm like, is that a movie choice, or is that a we're supposed to have this Porsche and we sourced it, but it's so snowy we have to stick with the Porsche. Put chains. That was one of those ones again that I was like, this doesn't kind of make any sense because like even in Jersey they're not going to rent you. I know he's trying to be you know what, I'm trying to give logic to just
And also the idea of
So-
his brother using that car and then leaving the windows down is outrageous. That would never fucking happen.
So I'm looking at these two movies, right? Looking at just sort of what the people are like because they're not both super engaged with it. Well, Just Friends sort of is because it's like a plot point that he's like, oh, I want to get out of this and see the world, but it doesn't play that much for much because it's more about slamming ass.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I think that Just Friends' image of like importing douchebags as opposed to them being abundant and homegrown and just sort of commuting in and out doesn't really capture the Jersey wavelength. Like
Yeah.
the Ryan Reynolds of New Jersey hang around and are abundant.
Yeah.
It's not quite that far-flung and rustic. Like you can
There-
have a thriving douchebag practice in New Jersey.
There was that one show based on that at the shore of Jersey. I
Yeah,
forget the
right,
name.
exactly.
Oh, right,
They
yeah,
made
yeah,
money
yeah.
at gajillion dollars.
Little indie drama. Yeah.
Little indie, Whereas I do think that while they do not care that they are in New Jersey, I do not shoot there, and it does not remotely matter. At the very least, that brand of idiot college age teenager is present.
Yeah, you could actually picture a lot of these characters on the Jersey
I
Shore.
mean, was any of the Friday the 13th, was it shot in Jersey at all?
No, I think they're all super shot in Northern California.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Golden.
Yeah.
It's like
That is so
like
good.
or shot in so much kind of like when we were watching Leprechaun, which is like from
Yeah.
North Dakota, and it's like it's so obviously like that's the ranch an hour
Yeah.
north of LA, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just like
Right.
you're not even trying, guys.
Another tiebreaker could be, is Vancouver more like New Jersey or is Northern California more like New Jersey?
Ooh.
That's a new podcast right there.
Right?
It's because so much. I mean, the
Yeah,
Canada of it
I'm
all
leaning
is
I'm leaning
incredible.
towards Clerks then because it's shot there, it's set there. The people feel real there.
It's made by, Jerseyites and
It doesn't feel like a heightened idea of New Jersey, be it a romantic, air quotes, comedy
right.
like Friday the 13th Part 4.
I mean,
Right.
honestly,
We are putting Pikachu up against Godzilla here. Detective Pikachu up against Godzilla here.
I will say, like,
again, a better movie.
when we did Clerks, I mean, that's kind of what we were talking about. Even in the fact that we did have, an actual documentary when we did it like the first time around with Action Park, that we were like, that Clerks feels almost like a documentary in and of itself.
Yeah.
Like the way that it was shot, it's shot on a location that these guys like literally one of them worked. Like, they used to work in that area.
Right.
It's just kind of like really just referencing the way they were, the way they grew up. It's not putting any sort of like shine on New Jersey, but it's also not like digging at New Jersey. It's just going, this is just New Jersey.
Mhm.
I mean, that's because we kind of like, I remember we were talking about it because Garden State was a bit, it's a bit ethereal in a way, and you kind
A
of got the
little whimsy.
yeah, right. And it's kind of like putting it all through this kind of whimsical lens, exactly. That like weirdly enough that Clerks just felt like just dirty and the
Raw
way
and
they
cuts
talk
through the
to each
bullshit.
other.
There's no bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
why I think that's why I think that it won. And that's also why I think that this time around, I think that we were having some fun. I like that we
Yeah.
were having some fun. It's like, all right, let's go a bit random.
Until we pick another fucking,
Fucking Twister.
what's his name? Yeah.
Well,
God.
But the thing about it, so I'm willing to say that like I think Clerks still deserves to hold on to that crown. Like it's a very Jersey movie, and like unless anyone could disagree with me, I'm going to make it official.
Yeah.
We agree.
I agree.
We agree.
I kind of knew that going
I-
into it, but it remained hopeful that Just Friends would pull through in the end.
You just like
Or
that
pull
some
out, I don't know.
Yeah, right. But like,
Well,
so
some deeply perverted post-academic part of me wants to see like, could I push Just Friends hard enough to try to beat Clerks?
Absolutely.
I think
Yes,
that
you
is
could.
beyond. I think that's beyond
stranger-
my powers.
As you can see, if you ever look at our like list of movies that were like that we come back around going, that one won? You'd be amazed that sometimes we can come up with some really nuanced take that has taken a complete dark horse movie
Yeah.
and made it the champion over like something that is so blatantly obviously
My favorite
supposed to
one,
win.
I think it was
Wonderful.
we did this season, was for Roadhouse, because it was loosely based on a true story.
Yeah.
That's
In
what
that
pushed it over
state.
the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so much so that we had to use that as a precedent to like, okay, we can't do that anymore because that's just not fair.
Incredible.
Yeah.
But when it comes to New Jersey, there are no shortage of movies that we could have chosen. That's the thing.
We've got 11 other Friday the
Yeah, I was gonna say.
right. We've got 11 of those still to go. We've got basically every Kevin Smith,
movie.
So you got Dogma. You've got like things like that.
The two that I had written down that weren't Kevin Smith movies, because Dogma was up there, was Copland
That's number one on my list of the one that
Yeah.
we're definitely doing next time around.
and Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. There's that. There's Chasing Amy, Mallrats. There's Snake Eyes. Apparently, like I quite remember. I haven't watched that for a while.
The G.I. Joe movie?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. There's apparently The Wrestler gets involved in that one as well. There's Clerks 2 and 3. There's The Many Saints in Newark, American Hustle. So we've got a shit ton of movies that we can sort of bring to the table, because I think something like Copland, I think has got a pretty good opportunity to maybe like take on Clerks in that particular way. That's
That's in like both sides of like.
well, it's New York cops that live in Jersey.
Right.
And it's shot. The whole point is always shooting. You've always got the city in the background, but it's always like you're on the Jersey. It's a James Mangold picture, that one.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good one. Cool.
All right, so I guess we don't really need to like prop up a heel champion over here for for Clerks 2 or Copland to like just punt out of the way.
Yeah,
No.
because there are certain states, mate, where like we're already having trouble. Like
I mean, that's our next state.
Well, honestly, yeah. So let's talk about it. So our champion here for New Jersey, yeah, we've got it. It's going to still be Clerks, the champion here. Next time around, we got some good ones. But the state we are heading to next is the state of North Dakota, where first time around our champion was the not seen Disney flop Monster Trucks, because we had like. It was shot in British Columbia. At least it talked about North Dakota.
The funniest thing about that movie is that when they screened it, the creature in it, Creech, was deemed too horrifying for children that were
Right.
running out of the theaters, that they had to redesign and reshoot, like re-render basically the entire movie.
That movie cost way
Brutal.
too much. Yeah,
It cost 2 Twisters.
It was it was a confounding movie in many ways. So to go up against that, we've actually gone in an interesting direction, that especially considering we were talking about how last year we did a documentary for Jersey. Will has chosen a documentary for North Dakota that I remember seeing, and it must be about 20 years ago when it came out, and it being chilling to watch. So Will, tell us a little bit about this particular movie we're going to explore.
Yeah, this is the movie I watched for the first time right after my awkward asking out attempt with Just Friends, which is Jesus Camp. It is a movie equally terrifying, but for completely different reasons. And no foreshadowing for where we are currently as a country at all to be found in it. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. I haven't
It's gonna
seen
take
that.
a tangent.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen that movie because we weren't allowed to see it at the camp that I was going to. So I'm excited to see how the other half lives.
You know, I'm excited because, you know, my film career wasn't long, but having a little documentary stint like that, nice.
It's a documentary
Wait
that
a
like
minute.
when it got to the trailer, the trailer came across like a horror movie. It's like if you like the trailer for this is like you're like, okay. And you watch it and it's just it's really, really
Balls to the wall comedy.
yeah, just straight up just like it's just nudity and murders all through. But no, it's fascinating. I remember it being a really good watch, but one that really does get you talking. And like very much like kind of like what Will said, you're looking at the sort of the landscape that we live in now 20 years later.
Yeah.
A lot of it is like you look at this and understand sort of the
A lot of people were like, "This is a good idea for everyone in society." Yeah.
Turns out not so much. But there was a few other movies that we were bouncing around. Ryan, you ended up going with one that was sort of like I passed away.
I already forgot the title. You told me. Oh, the Messengers?
It's The Messengers.
The Messengers.
Right. It's a Kristen Stewart
Directed
movie.
by Pang Brothers. I don't know if that's I don't know if it's two people or if it's just one man's name.
Yeah, it's Mr. Pang Brother.
Pang Brothers. Yeah, Mr. Pang Brothers.
Hell, Pang, brother. Starring Kristen Stewart, Dylan McDermott, Mulroney. Hell yeah, our boy.
And weird apparitions and a supernatural story happening on a North Dakota farm. According to our non-sponsor sponsor, who'll one day be a sponsor, Just Watch, I'm checking out Jesus Camp. You can find it. It is available for free on Plex and a couple of other places. But honestly, much like Just Friends, you might be able to find the full movie on YouTube.
I was shocked to find it. I couldn't.
And it was in relatively pretty good HD. I watched that whole movie like uninterrupted, no ads or anything on YouTube. So you might be able to so Jesus Camp is available. You can find it like on Plex. The Messengers is also available on Plex for free.
Huh.
It's on Foursome, it's on Plex, and it's on Hoopla, all for free. They're two tight 90-minute movies, so it won't be the 4-hour Dances of Wolves with Wolves cut that Ryan managed.
I regret nothing.
And hey, if you want to not be surprised by any headlines for a while, enjoy Jesus Camp. Trust me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So next time around when we return, we'll be heading to the state of North Dakota, where it's Monster Trucks versus Jesus Camp versus The Messenger. Here in New Jersey, our champion is still Clerks. Dennard.
Woo.
So if people want to see more of you, read more about what you do, now's the time. Where can we find you?
Awesome. So you can find me I have a newsletter called Extra Evil, extra-evil.com, and I update all my goings-ons there. I have that book we talked about in the beginning, How to Dodge a Cannonball. It is really good. I would call it is sort of I'm intensely unbiased now, but really it's like every worthwhile thought I have in my head.
Greatest book ever made.
Yeah. It's the reason that letters exist on paper.
Fuck, that's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are sort of my two things. Like, and I'm also a columnist on a 1-900 Hot Dog, which is a humor site. In fact, the tagline is the last comedy site because of that awkward bit that happened. Pivot to video, the great tidal wave washing over everything. Really unfortunate, but they are kicking around. They are amazing, and they are definitely the reason I do not have to forage for food today, and I really appreciate them on many levels for that.
We all appreciate not foraging for food.
Yeah, and those are my three things. And yeah, this has been a wonderful time. By the way, I really appreciate being on here. I am actually really glad it was these two movies because they are very easy to talk about. There's a lot flying through the windows in Just Friends, and then it happens again in the Jason movie.
There's a lot of actually through that does happen quite a bit actually in these movies.
They're basically
it's actually the full emotional range of it.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's very Jersey.
It's crazy how often we'll pick two wildly random movies for a state, and there's some semblance of overlap.
There's been a couple of times where we've had 3 movies where we've inadvertently found a perfect theme. It's sometimes that's the great thing about movies, and that's why we love doing this movie podcast. Is it really does send us down some really random roads we would never have walked, and sometimes they are really, really good roads to go down, and sometimes it's 1989's Twister. But we'll get back to that next time when we head to North Dakota. You can always find more of Will as Entitled Millennial on Instagram and TikTok, as well as getting his quality Japan content from his trip to Japan. That looked like
TikTok hates.
look like a lot of. Well, honestly, TikTok hates everything right now. Ever since it's been like their new owners, it's just broken.
I like that both you and I realized on the same day, we have 0 views.
Yeah,
on
I got
all
like
of our
100
videos.
that I put up.
Oh, it's like are the new Murdoch light owners not being?
Yes, basically the US took over and it just tanked. So I had a video that I got 750,000 views combined on Facebook and Instagram, and I got 20 views for the same video on TikTok. And I've got equal followers on all of them. So I'm okay. So that's working out great. Thanks, TikTok.
It's like, that's where the tides are there. That is.
Speaking of
Yeah.
TikTok, you can find me as That Englishman in Texas on TikTok and Instagram. You can find me as Ollie Pettigrew on Facebook. That's where I like to talk all things Texas through the British perspective, though I also like to talk movies as well. Of course, you can find Ryan as Rhino Digital, RYNO Digital, with his interesting movie designs, his classically redesigned posters, and interesting merch. Like I went to Detroit and all I got was my dick shot off. It's all available there. Don't forget, you can also find us on our Facebook page. We're always looking for advice. And you can find us if you're watching us on YouTube and you haven't subscribed. Do drop in the comments. Tell us the movie we should have done for your particular state. We're always looking for interaction. We're always looking for ideas. But from Dennard, from Will, from Ryan, and from me, thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the United States of a Movie podcast. We'll see you next time.